After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Quite the show was put on last week behind the dominant Adrian Schumacher at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca, but we're not done with the technical stuff. Tonight, the Outlaws Sim Series heads to the Pocono Mountains up in Pennsylvania to the tricky triangle with 5 races left in the regular season. Good evening all and welcome to virtual Pocono Raceway here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. Devin Zimmerman and Ed Scherer are alongside for to kick off this evening. And Devin, we have our final stretch of races to settle the playoff order. But when you think of Pocono, you think of fuel mileage races and strategy and long green flag runs. So really, what we're going to be looking at here is what kind of steps can a driver do to put themselves in the best position to succeed tonight?
Yeah, Emerson, Pocono is tricky. They don't call it a tricky triangle for nothing. Each and every turn is completely different from the previous turn. There's only 3 here, so what turn for? Of course, the real-life NASCAR drivers were here this past weekend, and what we saw was, again, long green flag runs and some good racing all around. I can say from racing here previously that it is very tricky to escape the draft, and if you can escape the draft, you have to hold on to your tires or you're going to be trained. Also, outside passing here could be a very big player. It's very hard to complete a pass on the bottom side of the racetrack. You can really set it up off of turn 1, but turn 2 is very tricky to pass on the inside without wrecking. So turn 3 also you can set up on the outside getting off and down this very long front straightaway. So look for that tonight, and yeah, it should be a very interesting one. We're going to see all kinds of strategies come out, but the biggest one is going to be trying to manage the tires versus keeping with the lead pack draft.
Certainly, and Devin, you did get into a bit of the track map, which we're going to go through here with Ed here in a sec. But I also want to say, it's pretty interesting, I think, that both you and Ed both had league races here this week. I really feel like this is more of a stereotypical booth. I feel more of the lead commentator of you two as the drivers with the experience, especially when it comes to Pocono tonight. I know, Ed, yours was cut a little short, but you did run a lot of laps in that race nonetheless. Devin, you were very close in your race to winning that. So I know I have a good crew with me here when it comes to talking about what can go on here at Pocono Raceway. But Ed, speaking of what can go on here, why don't you tell us about what's going on here?
You see right there, for example, off of turn 3, we got this long, giant straightaway. It is really wide. If you want to talk about a possible represent of a throughway, you can go at least maybe 5, even 6 wide sometimes going into turn 1, but I highly doubt we'll see that today. We may see a little bit of aggression played out with these drivers, though, but I'm expecting a lot of 4 or 5 wide racing going into turn 1. Then going down into turn 2 and the tunnel turn, it's a lot more strict going into the tunnel turn, as it's not really manageable to have side-by-side racing, but with these cars, It's a little bit different to manage with these open setups. You can make it to where you can run that second lane, like Devin was saying. You can run that second, the third lane even possible. I don't think we'll see the third lane. But even some people cut the apron, even at some points. But I don't think we'll see that today. Been going into turn 3, though. That's another opportunity to be going 3, even 4 wide, possibly down there. It's just wide enough to where you can fit 4 cars, but you carry a lot of speed in these corners. So it's definitely going to be interesting seeing what kind of moves are going to be made from these drivers today as we can go back onto the front straightaway where we'll even see more 4 wide action possibly.
Absolutely. Now the thing is, with this track, 3 different corners, this is going to tailor to different drivers' driving styles, right? And you can even kind of think about this as maybe a 5-turn track. I know if you were here with the MPI broadcast on Sunday night, you know Andrew also did this as well. But if you look at the way NASCAR typically numbers turns, right? This really isn't a 3-turn oval. If we look at it the way NASCAR will number most turns, you know. Turn 1, somebody can remind me, I believe that this is modeled after the Trenton Raceway Trenton Turnpike? Is that what it's called?
Sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And so typically being an oval turn, you know, it'd be 2. So turns 1 and 2 down here. Down here, the tunnel turn. Well, that's modeled after one of the turns at Indianapolis. So go ahead and just that's a 3 right there. And down here, where we have the current turn 3, that's modeled after Milwaukee. And again, Milwaukee, a very, very long corner there. So we have turn 4 and turn 5. This is, I think, going to be great debate, right? People will say, well, why is it not 6 turns? Or why do we number ovals like this, right? Why is it just not 3 turns, and why aren't other ovals 2 turns, right? There's so much you can debate about here at Pocono, but what is for sure is all 3 turns are different. Again, turn 1 is a very tight radius corner, right? You have to slow down a lot to get down in there. It's at the end of a very, very long straightaway. That's really, it's probably your best passing zone. Then the tunnel turn, turn 2, high speed corner, very, very fast. More than likely, you're gonna have to go single file through there. And then turn 3, very long sweeping left-hander. You got to hit it right to get yourself set up for that long straightaway. So again, 3 completely different turns. I am very excited to see how it plays out tonight at the Tricky Triangle. But also, guys, we have the point standings to go over tonight. And let's take a look at, this is first, the overall driver standings. All right. Yeah, we'll go through this first. You can kind of see how things have built up over the season, right? You know, Max Service has the point lead. He has 17 points over Jennings, 19 over Berger. It's actually very close there. 2-point margin between Jennings and Berger. Stutzman in 4th, Fitzpatrick, Fisher, Schumacher in 6th. That's all great. They're all in with their points. So really, when we switch over here, there's not going to be too much of a difference. Other than Hertzeg right there, he dropped down to 18th in the overall driver's points. Following him dropping out of, you know, not running the past few races. He's also, unfortunately, not running the amount of races to be classified in the playoffs anymore. So there's only 6 drivers who are locked into the playoffs, and that's demonstrated here. 6 drivers are in via wins. We have 5 races left. I think if Jacob Reeves has a good race tonight, we're going to look, you know, at the cut line. I think Reeves is going to pretty much lock himself in here very soon. So on and so forth. Scott Bailey, James Gilliard. But Devin, let's look at that cut line there. 2 points right there on the cut.
Yes, very close between Matt Rogers and Daniel Milnix. Very, very close. Only 2 points. Also, Zoltan Hertzeg, even with missing some time, I'm trying to take a look at the register list at the moment. I do not see Hertzeg in
he's
the field.
ineligible, so basically you can just omit him.
Yeah, so he's ineligible anyway, but still, after that tight cut line from Mulnix and Rogers, Matthew Setzer, unfortunately, very far back in the standings. Does not look like he's going to be able to make up the time unless there's some type of, you know, resurgence from that 5 car going forward from this race on. He's really going to have to get the hammer down and pull out some strategies to get himself into the playoffs. Get a win, that would definitely help. So
that would get him in.
That'll get him in. So that's pretty much what he needs to do right now. Kind of take a page out of, you know, some of the guys who took chances here in the real life race. Bubba Wallace comes to mind, taking a chance to try and pull just something different and see if it worked out. It didn't work out quite well for him, but who knows? Maybe it will work out well for Setzer. Joseph Causey also has not participated in quite a while, so he is ineligible as well. But yeah, those two right there, the battle between Matt Rogers and Daniel Monix is the one to watch on track. One position could really turn the tide in that race. Just a couple of points in the stage can turn the tide in that race. So keep an eye on both of those drivers, the 44 and the 96, all through the race tonight and going forward throughout the rest of the regular season. It is going to be a fun one down the stretch to see which of those drivers can really put the pressure down and get in, or if another driver like Matthew Setzer can get himself in and maybe push Matt Rogers out.
Right, and I also want to bring you in with this, Ed. I mean, we're looking at this, right? Let's talk about really on that cut line, right? I think Bothwell 52 above. Now, while that's not a full race above the cut line, I think he's pretty much, I guess, relatively safe. Let's talk about Devin Smith, Andrew St. Cour, Matt Rogers, and Daniel Monix. Monix, that's your guy. You've been watching him. You've been rooting him on to get into this playoff run. Devin Smith, Andrew St. Cour, Matt Rogers, they hold those spots. I know Devin Smith, Andrew St. Cour, they're not slouches, and Matt Rogers, he's not gonna roll over easily for a playoff spot. What are you looking at here? Maybe the four different agendas you can see there, 14th through 17th here in the playoff standings, Ed.
Honestly, I feel like we have the more of the four consistent drivers possibly fighting it off for this bubble system here. I mean, I believe Devin Smith, Andrew St. Cour, Matt Rogers, and Daniel Molnix are four really consistent drivers that we talked about week in and week out. I know Devin Smith had a couple issues last week at Laguna Seca, and I believe Matt Rogers as well. Daniel Molnix had a couple errors, but other than that, it was still a wild card race. But still going back, touching on everything. When it comes to regular tracks like Pocono and all these regular speedways that we have coming up in the next coming weeks, those four drivers are probably the more consistent drivers that we'll see fight for each other. I think Devin Smith might be the one I'm looking at to possibly need to step up a little bit, because the more I've seen him recently, he hasn't been performing at his very best. I feel like he needs to get more of those consistent points finishes in the stages and do everything he can to get in those stage points positions. Andrew St. Cour, Matt Rogers, Daniel Molnix have done their jobs. They've been doing exactly what they need to do. Daniel Molnix preferably has been doing what he needs to do, is that's by getting stage points when he needs to. He did it last week at Laguna Seca, did it the week before. He's been doing it consistently all week long, but I just feel like it's going to be a lot of flipping and flopping between 14th to 17th. I don't think it's going to be like a Matt Rogers getting overtaken by Daniel Molnix. I think it might be like a Devin Smith getting overtaken by all three of those guys possibly. It could go that way easily in the flip of a switch.
You're right, and I think I want to say Andrew St. Cour. Think of him, right? He edged out a top 10 at Laguna Seca, right? He's usually up there. He had a great run going for him at New Hampshire, but I think he's had a couple absences that's put him in this position. If Andrew St. Cour has to miss another, well, he falls out. But he won't fall too far if he continues to have run after run. So this could be intriguing. I wonder if Andrew St. Cour is going to be able to make the rest of this regular season, and if he can keep what I don't think St. Cour has to do much better. I just don't think he can taper off. Right, and then again, Devin Smith, Matt Rogers, Daniel Molnix. This is going to be quite a battle. Right now, we'll take a look at the practice charts in a moment. But right now, first I'm looking for Devin Smith. I actually don't even see him on the charts. So that could be huge in itself. But we look at like a Matt Rogers versus Molnix. Well, there's a huge difference there. Well, I don't see Molnix either. This is huge. Actually, this could be some playoff implications. Not having Molnix in, we'll keep tabs on that throughout the night, of course. But we talk about the regular season, guys. It's coming to an end. We're at Pocono, race 22, right? Or right there, bottom of that second column, guys. Phoenix, Charlotte, Bristol, National Super Speedway round out the regular season. Now, I know we've gone through the schedule a million times, right? We all know the playoffs. It's all there on the screen. Let's just go ahead and let's look at it. And what do you guys kind of star with Pocono, Phoenix, Charlotte, Bristol, and National Super Speedway? What are you looking forward to the most? What's going to be the most important to get yourself into the playoffs? And what's going to be, I guess, something you can just kind of coast through? We'll go with Devin. Out of these 5 races, what are you putting your star next to?
The star's next to Bristol. Anything can happen at Bristol. We saw it last season. or maybe it was a couple seasons ago, Tyler Markle trying to race his way into the playoffs, or
last season.
Last season, trying to race his way in, I believe, to get through round one, and he was leading the race. It was coming down to the wire, and a lap down car took him 3 wide, and ultimately got into Tyler Markle, took him out of the race, and ended his playoff, his playoff aspirations and his championship aspirations. Markle was coming on very strong at the end of that season, and unfortunately, it was all taken away at Bristol. So I'm putting the star next to that track. The one that I'm looking for that might be something that you can possibly just, if you really just protect yourself and take it easy on a good run, and really protect the tires, is going to be somewhere like a cookie cutter track. So I would look at Charlotte. We did see Charlotte was very active in real life NASCAR, a lot of wrecks, a lot of good racing at Charlotte. But on the sim, I do believe it can still race very similar to what we've seen in the past. So as long as you protect your tires and just have a good, consistent run, Charlotte should not be the make or break. But the very next week, of course, is Bristol.
Yeah, absolutely. Charlotte, season 1, it went green all the way. I know, Ed, what are you looking at here at these 5 races if you're a driver trying to make it into the playoffs?
If I'm a driver trying to make it into the playoffs, I'm circling next week and the last week of the regular season. Phoenix, in my opinion, is one of the very underrated tracks that we have on the sim, and I think it can be a make or break for somebody between full sending it into turns 1 and 2, or cutting the dog leg and getting the advantage going 4 wide down the front straightaway. It's just that kind of racing. It's exciting, it's exhilarating, and it's a make or break season for anybody. Somebody can make a move from 10th place and go to the lead in just one corner. That's how kind of crazy it is. And I'm looking at Nashville Super Speedway. Of course, all 3 of us have ran there before. It can either be, a tire managed make or break. It could be fuel mileage. It could be racing. I mean, we've seen a lot of exciting races in Nashville in the recent history, and I mean, it could just be anything. I'm more looking at, like Devin said, Bristol. Of course, it's going to be exciting because it's a short track. It's going to be under the lights. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of bumping and banging, but I just feel like Phoenix can also be one of those types of deals. I mean, like I said, that front straightaway, you can cut it, and it just can cause a really interesting scenario going into turns 1 and 2. So I'm definitely looking at Phoenix out of everything.
Certainly, gentlemen. It's going to be quite the show these next 5 weeks as we have these drivers try to fight for their seasons and their playoff lives. Now, we're going to get here into the practice times here very shortly. And I want you to kind of think, mull over who you might want to talk to here in just a moment. But while y'all do that, we have to thank our partners here at Pit Stop TV, of course, Whiplash Media, Sim Cams. Andrew Cardinale IV works very hard on bringing us all these beautiful sights from all these tracks here on the iRacing.com motorsport simulations platform. So if you need your own camera packs or broadcasting, whatnot, go ahead and check out Whiplash Media Sim Cams at www.pitstoptv.com/Whiplash. Of course, a huge shout out to Sim Rat Market. They make base paint schemes for a plethora of cars on the sim. So if you want to get out on the track on style, or if you're somebody who doesn't really have the time to paint a car, but you really want to paint one easily or quickly, go ahead and head over to Sim Rat Market. Check out what they got. Check out the catalog of cars. See what they got for you, and if there's a base you like, you can go ahead and buy it, and you can make it your own. You can change the colors, you can put the logos on you want, however you want. Do whatever to it after you buy it. SimRatMarket.com. Again, if you want to be out there on the track in style. And of course, a huge shout out to Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine. Check them out at www.permanentmakeup.in-maine.com. And now, boys, here it is, the practice times. We are getting a little low here in the practice sheets, or I'm sorry, in the practice time, but we're looking at it. Point leader Max Service and Andrew St. Cour, who we're just talking about on that bubble, guys. He stepped up there. They're second on the practice sheet. Schaefer, Schumacher, Berger, Cortez, again, a newcomer to the series there in 6th. Fitzpatrick Molnix is there in 8th. McMurtry and Holt, the top 10. Holt returning. A lot of stories in that top 10, but boys, what are you looking at, Devin?
Yeah, I'm looking at Daniel Molnix sitting 2 points out of the playoffs, but he's sitting there on the speed charts in 8th place at the moment. He is going to have a decent race, I think. If he can stay out of trouble, it looks like there is speed in that 44 machine, and he can possibly if he definitely finishes that place in stages, he can start to overtake those in front of him. I'm looking at Devin Smith and also Matt Rogers, who's sitting now in 20th on the speed charts, but it is still very close between all of these drivers. But keep an eye on that 44 car tonight.
Right on. And I'm looking, I actually don't see him in Discord to talk to. I don't know, Ed, if there was somebody you had in mind to bring him up and try to figure out what you can from him.
I was going to say, why don't we, I think we should all agree on this. I say we get in the minds of Matt Rogers, possibly. The guy that's 2 points ahead of the cut line right now.
Sure.
I feel like he's going to have one of those types of nights. Let's see if we can bother his little mind there for a second.
To you, Ed.
Matt Rogers, is the boys in the booth, you get a copy. Matt Rogers, Edward Sheeran, Emerson Ardon, Devin Zimmerman in the booth, you got a copy.
Well, it looks like I guess we're not going to have Matt Rogers in the booth with us tonight. Well, there's a minute left to practice. I guess people, they're getting a quick restroom break in or whatever. So people are, hastily getting ready for this race. And as we were trying to get a hold of Matt Rogers, guys, it was Seth Berger that went top of the charts. Remember how close he was to trying to take over the point lead a couple weeks ago. He, of course, had the issues last week at WeatherTech Race with Laguna Seca, guys. And he is now 19 points back. He's 2 points back at Jennings. Jennings, who has not set a practice time yet. This is going to be intriguing as well. Lots going on here. We'll see, where Seth Berger can match up here against his teammate Max Service, and if Jennings does end up racing tonight.
Yeah, we definitely will. I mean, Max has been very consistent all season long, and he's right there back at the top. His teammate Seth Berger overtaking him, but not looking too far away. All of the Swift Racing cars are kind of all up there. Looking at Reese Schaefer, Adrian Schumacher, Vincent Cortez, who's kind of joined in the fold with these Swift Racing drivers. But yeah, they are very fast here, all up at the front of the speed charts. What I think is interesting here, just real quick before we get into qualifying, is turn 2. I didn't mention it in the track map or before, but there's a line that you can run through turn 2 to set up a pass into 3 and really compromise the person in front of you. So it allows you to get a very big jump and get down that front straightaway very fast. Let's see if anybody can pull that off by just backing off a little early in turn 2, letting the car turn in, and then getting a huge run to put pressure on the guy in front of him into turn 3.
And try to get to that point you're talking about right here, Devin. Here is a look at the entry of turn 2.
Sure.
And you can kind of see it right there. You've also, you've been able to do it with the old car, right? You were able to clip actually underneath that yellow line. It would just absolutely rocket your lap time. So it'll be intriguing to see what happens here tonight. And Ed, quick final thoughts before qualifying.
I'm more excited for the race, to be honest with you. If we could just show real quick how that whole front straightaway just looks going into turn 1. I don't know if we have an angle of this or not, but just how wide that front straightaway is just remarkable, to be honest with you. We could see possibly 5, even 6 wide just going that far. I'm hoping we see it. Just look how wide that could go. You could go all the way to that wall, and it's legal. We could see that happen. Who knows? But still, if we see that, man, it's going to be a show going down to turn 1.
Max Service flies by our static camera there, and you're right. It's like a super highway. Honestly, it looks like the highways I have to drive on every day here in Houston. It is it is very busy, especially on these restarts. Gentlemen, I also want to turn our attention. I did mention a little bit. I want to turn our attention to this guy, defending Outlaws Sim Series champion Greg Holt, making his first start in a couple months. Welcome back to the series, Greg Holt, and he's here and ready to do battle tonight, boys.
He is looking good there, the Lego car, and yeah, it's looking good on that Lego car. So glad to see him back. Unfortunately, I don't think that he's going to be able to get into the playoffs to defend his title this season, but he can finish it off strong and allow it to propel him into next season. It looks like, just some bad luck and just untimely incidents have kind of derailed Greg Holt's season. Then he took a small break to get back in, and now he's here. What a good track to come back onto, you know, with Pocono as he turns into turn 1 there. We're watching him on his qualifying lap. Max Service right now to the top. We saw that flash across the screen.
Yeah, how about this guy, though? Last week's winner at Laguna Seca, Adrian Schumacher. He absolutely dominated. He didn't even go top of the charts by a couple tenths of a second over his teammate Max Service. So how about that? He showed a little bit of brushing off the shoulders. He's like, hey, I may have run a road course. I mean, I can still bring it, though. I mean, this is kind of in Adrian's wheelhouse, you know. His only other win was at Daytona, like we mentioned a couple weeks ago, Emerson. And, I mean, this kind of plays like a super speedway, so you never know. We might be able to see Adrian possibly get a little bit of a win here at Pocono tonight.
Certainly. Going right on board with the driver who was the fastest in practice, so you got to go ahead and gauge how it is here. Reese Schaefer takes top of the charts. But look at it here. We're going to walk you through all 3 turns. This is turn 1. We'll come back down to front turn and talk about it here. But now we're going down to Long Pond straightaway. A lot of people call it the back stretch. It basically serves as the back stretch, right? But you're heading here into turn 2. This is a very quick corner. This is a corner you would be able to hit wide open in the Gen 6 car. That is actually wild to think about now that we're having the lift and even break down there in the tunnel turn. Now you're down here in the turn 3, long sweeping corner. Typically you want a wide entry and you want a straight line this exit to set up for the long straightaway up to the outside wall. Sethberger goes and down this long front straightaway, guys. It's a mile long, actually over a mile long. Now this entire front stretch, big time slipstream opportunity. Then down here to turn 1, pretty much the heavy braking's on the downshift there, the 4th gear for Sethberger. And a little bit of a bobble, a little bit of a blip at the throttle as he tries to get up off the corner. But that really is what we're dealing with here at lap at Pocono.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, you can see just any little bobble, any little misstep can get you out of whack and also derail your lap and allow guys, especially since it is a draft-heavy track, especially on the front stretch and that Long Pond straightaway, you can get overtaken pretty easily or at least be put in a precarious position. So just need to watch that when you're exiting turns. You want to get the best exit you can, as we see the 12 car's rear end get a little shaky out of that turn 1 there, heading down the Long Pond as he enters turn 2 now. See how he gets through turn 2. Almost down to the yellow line. Looks like he's keeping a lot of speed through turn 2 as he heads down into turn 3.
And the goal is to carry as much speed as you can down to that tunnel turn. As we see him taking a wide arc into turn 3. This is what I'm expecting to see a lot of people out there. Maybe their possible opening lap is to get a high arcing corner out of 3 to carry as much speed as you can down the front straightaway in turn 1. Another big thing I want to worry about, I'm curious if we're going to see any shifting. The race I did a couple days ago, there was a lot of shifting, and that was an open setup, which these guys are running. I don't know if it's the same exact one, but there was some shifting going on that I had to do into tunnel turns and to turn 3 to carry a lot of speed and carry high RPMs possibly. So I don't know if we're going to see that tonight, but still, though, I'm still expecting to see the high range of speeds that we saw a couple days ago. Seth Fitzpatrick now jumps to the top of the board.
Wow, Seth Fitzpatrick goes top of the charts. I also bring our attention to Jason Miz. Quickly want to mention him. He back in the series, bringing out the 24 in the Abruzzi colors. This is our finish line for Jason Miz at the end of his last timed lap. He will stay 13th quickest. Also, returning to the series, he's made a couple starts, of course. The driver who did the job at Bristol Dirt, Kyle Lingerfelt, back in it with this Boss Security and Raging Cajun Designs number 65 Toyota Camry. Kyle Lingerfelt again was a mainstay in the Outlaws Sim Series last season, looking to put himself back on the map in this series as he comes to the line to, this is to wrap up his first lap, I believe. Nope, that is to start his first lap. But anyway, also want to give a shout out to Lingerfelt making his return to the series. Believe he should be in this more or less full time to the end of the season. And sideways is that 65.
Yeah, we saw that in practice. I was watching the 65 and the 66. Joshua Fox making his return as well in the 66 car, kind of a reunited dark horse racing team. And the 65 was having trouble, Kyle Lingerfelt there, having trouble in turn 1, getting the power down and not flaring out the rear end, drifting that turn a lot. So that's something to watch in the race. It looks like that is a very loose race car. Even here in turns 3, it looks like that rear was a little bit unstable. Got it off of turn 3 very well, though. But, yeah, definitely turn 1. It seems to be a problem spot for that 65 car right now.
Yeah, that's the thing, Devin. It's like with these next-gen cars, you feel like you have all the grip in the world with these things going into the corners and in the middle of the entry, and you want to get to the back of the gas as fast as possible, but it's just the back end of the car is just not happy with it. You see there, it looks like Kyle had a better entry into turn 1 coming down here the long straightaway going down into the tunnel turn, but just carrying enough speed, you think you could carry all the momentum in the world. But let's see how he enters here in the tunnel turn. This is what you want to do. You want to be able to paint that yellow line. You see the wheel's going to be struggling a little bit. The front back end's not going to agree with it going down to that little bit of a bump. But going down to turn 3, we're going to see a lot of things here. We're going to either see people breaking at that one cone, or I've seen a lot of people sending it a lot more deeper to carry off a little less speed. But the people that back off more will carry the more speed on the exit. So it'll be interesting to see how the passes go on here as we see Kyle Lingerfeld setting his time.
And now I want y'all to watch this. He's coming down the long pond right here. This is his last lap. Watch that gear number right there. That number 5. Does he downshift here into the corner? He does not. You're actually going to see a lot of drivers do that. So Lingerfeld just trying to get the grips with the track, trying to keep that baby in 5th gear and try to keep the grip underneath him. But right there, watch that number. If we take this on board a few more times throughout the night, watch that number, that gear number, to see if drivers are shifting throughout the lap.
Yeah, it's definitely something to watch. You can get a lot of speed built up by shifting down to turn 4, shifting down to gear 4. We'll see if he shifts here in turn 3. This is one where I think you could shift to get a lot of speed and run off of the turn. He does not. He plows the wall, and he's going to hit the barriers. Very similar incident that we saw Ryan Blaney do in the real life race.
And bad hit there for Lingerfeld, trying to improve upon his qualifying time. Guys, that's gonna go ahead and do it there in qualifying. Devin, Seth Fitzpatrick with the top time.
Yes, sir. Seth Fitzpatrick gets the top time. He is going to be this week's Pratt, Towle, and Stone Pole Award winner. Pratt, Towle, and Stone doing business for Central Vermont since 2005. Congratulations to Seth Fitzpatrick. He's no slouch when it comes to qualifying. You've seen him up here quite a bit, and he's going to get to be the one to take us down and start this race. Adrian Schumacher, also a good qualifying effort there as well.
Right on. And gentlemen, it is time to get to our starting lineup. And again, it was quite the qualifying session for Seth Fitzpatrick to kind of show up and throw up a great time. Go ahead and try to get down there to our grid. And there it is, Seth Fitzpatrick. Let's go through our starting lineup. Row number 1, it'll be the 2 of Seth Fitzpatrick and the 82 of Adrian Schumacher. Row number 2, it'll be the 81 of Max Service, the 23 of Vincent Cortez. Row number 3, it'll be the 71 of Jeremiah Stutzman, the 12 of Andrew St. Cure. Row number 4, it'll be the 77 of Seth Berger, the 11 of Scott Bailey, and in row number 5, it'll be the 17 of Reese Schaefer, the 3 of Greg Holt.
Yeah, then row number 6, we're going to see Jacob Reeves there, and outside of him, Kevin Powell in the 93. Row number 7, we will see the 24 of Jason Miz making a good return here, and at a bruised car, and to his outside, James Gilliard. Row number 8 is going to have Kyle Lingerfeld making his return, and Derek McMurtry in the 84. Row number 9, Mike Petrin in the 41, and Daniel Mulnix, the guy I said to keep an eye on at the beginning, on his outside. And then row number 10, we'll see John Mickey in the 69 and Jonathan Jennings in the 91.
In row 11, we got Adam Gardner, the league owner, the 56. To his outside, Joshua Landfox in the 66. Row 17, Matt Rogers in the 96, who's on the bubble currently in the point standings, looking for a great run. Alongside him, Sam Borden in the 97, making his Outlaw Series debut. And rounding it off at 25th, the 67 of the Dodge Charger of Mr. Doug Solms.
So 12 and a half rows of NASCAR next-gen vehicles are about to get rolling here from the pit lane at Pocono. Before we get into it, gentlemen, it is a 100 lap race, and what that means is it makes our stage number pretty easy to figure out, because, well, if you don't know, the stages are calculated the exact same each and every week, guys. Stages are 20% and 45% of each Outlaws Sim Series event. So at the completion of lap 20 and the completion of lap 45 will be the stage ends. The top 10 will be awarded stage points at the end of those. And the intriguing part of that is 20 is going to be about halfway through the first fuel run, and 45 is going to be right after that first fuel run comes to an end. So very intriguing to look at here. And real quick, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at this weather. Track temp 98 degrees. It's actually not that hot of a racetrack. Fairly cloudy, 73-degree air temp. Winds very calm, 4.5 miles an hour out of the northwest. Guys, what about these racing conditions? Looks like a nice little day for Pocono racing.
Yeah, very clear, nice day, a little breeze. Should be some great racing as these guys are warming up their tires. A big field tonight. Good to see here in the Outlaw Sim Series. And yeah, like you said, Emerson, that stage break for stage 2 is one I am circling on my notebook here. We might see some guys try to dive into the pits early and try and take position and maybe score some points here before the break.
Yeah, Devin, I'm looking at the temperatures right now, and I'm looking at all this cloud cover. I wonder how the grip levels are going to be, honestly, to say the least. But it's a decent track temp at 98 degrees, but I'm wondering if it's going to change a little bit with this little wind we got going on. But I'm looking to see how these cars handle possibly going to turn 1. Might be a little bit different from the practice. We had a little bit more sunshine than we do now.
Well, gentlemen, here we go. And the iRacing.com safety vehicle is going to make that hard left-hand turn into the safety of pit lane. And we are racing from Pocono. Oh, we got a car in the wall. That was, I believe, Greg Holt.
Yeah, Greg Holt in the wall made contact with the 17 of Reese Schaefer. They both came off of turn 2. It looked like almost flat out, at least pushing very hard. Just made door-to-door contact, and it just shot the 3 up to the wall. Looks like it's minimal damage, though. He should be able to recover, but definitely a hurt race, or a little bit of a hurt there at the beginning of the race. He's going to have a lot of ground to make up.
Yeah, I don't know, Dad. That was a decent hit on that right front. You got to be careful with that. It might affect the handling of that race car now. It might be a little bit tight. Might have to adjust a little bit of a game plan to possibly fix that. But back up front, we see Adrian Schumacher taking control of this lead, Emerson.
Adrian Schumacher, there he is, working his thing. He took very much that lead through turn 1 off the initial start. He got a great, and I mean a great launch from the initial start, guys. And remember, with the restart zone enabled, well, it's always been a rule in the Outlaw Sim Series, right, that the initial start goes on the green lights. But with the restart zones enabled, the initial start then falls pretty much any spawned out restart zone, so it's a little bit more easier to predict the start. And I think Adrian was right there on it, but here we go. This slipstream down the front straightaway. Cortez and Fitzpatrick trying to work up to that race lead.
Yeah, Cortez was able to push Schumacher there on that start and get into the lead. Seth Fitzpatrick, though, does not want to let them get away. And as you can see, if you make one little mistake, look at that train of cars as they head down the Long Pond straightaway.
Absolutely.
One little mistake, and you are going to be completely out. You got to stay in this draft. You got to keep the tires under you. Looks like Max Service is going to fall back one, but he just let the 12 car go. The 12 car washes up.
Yeah, the 12 car powered it in there through the tunnel turn trying to clear the 81, but the 81 said, no, I'm taking this spot back. But it looks like Scott Bailey in the 11 behind him is going to try to follow through along with the Max Service's teammate in the 77. They're trying to funnel on through, possibly even taking a little bit of a slipstream here as their teammates are in front of him. But looks like Scott Bailey is going to be the only one helping out Max Service, and everyone's going to stay behind Andrew St. Clair coming down the long straightaway.
Andrew St. Clair and Max Service duking it out for that 4th position. Looks like Scott Bailey wants a piece of the pie. He dove it off in there, but not able to make anything happen. And St. Coeur needs to get that 12 car down on corner exit. He's going to get swallowed up here.
Yeah, big bobble. He did the same thing. It looks like he's overdriving the entries into these turns, washing up very badly on the exit of the turns. To see what he does through turns 2 here, as we give you a big pack of cars right behind him. A little loose is the 11 car. He gets back in line, but Max Service now trapped on the bottom, losing multiple positions because of that.
And Max, he actually got... Oh, my apologies. Max got a little tight there in the tunnel turn. Go for it, Ed.
Oh, yeah, Max Service is not in the right spot. Oh, Scott Bailey slaps the wall a little bit. Minimal damage, though. Not too terrible, but Max Service is not in the right position right now. Everyone else seems to be a little bit comfortable on that middle line off the exit of turns 3. So that gives him a little bit more of a run off the exit. Max Service and more of the tire-saving strategy, running the bottom every corner here. But I'm really keeping an eye on that 77. He's had a great start since the drop of the green flag, Emerson, and, you know, he's definitely looking to take control of this points lead.
Yeah, he is. He's about 19 back, so he's going to have to do a little bit of work. And, guys, I am pretty sure we do not have a Jonathan Jennings in tonight, so nonetheless, Seth Berger should easily take second in the point standings. It's now, does he get to Max Service? A huge push there from his teammate of Reese Schaefer right behind.
Yeah, big push, and Max Service behind him. You can look in the rearview mirror there, still struggling. Wasn't able to get the car down to the bottom in turn 3 there to get the run off. Coming under a lot of fire. If you look on the back,
in the back, Rogers. Off the entry of pit lane, I saw Adam Gardner go sideways right in front of the field.
Oh, the wheel on Matt Rogers' car is destroyed. Adam Gardner big and Doug Solms make a huge hit here, guys, at the back of the field.
That's going to change up the point standings very, very much. Monix, very big benefiter out of that, but let's see what happens here as they go into turn 3. Or actually, is this turn
This is
2?
this is the tunnel turn here. Gardner, he gets a little loose there.
Already, so
I was watching Adam going all the way around turn 1, guys, and he just looked like he had no handling at all in his car. Was struggling on exit both corners, and then off turn 3 right here, just absolutely loses it and tries to overcorrect.
And back into traffic, nowhere for his teammate Matt Rogers to go on a huge hit. Man, nowhere for Solms to go. Massive hits here in the front straightaway at Pocono early on, guys.
Yeah, and that's the engine for the 56 there. The tire for Matt Rogers, and possibly the engine for Doug Solms as well. So all 3 of those cars are pretty much done for the night.
It'll be interesting for Matt Rogers, though, Devin. I don't think he had any engine issues. I think it was just mainly the tire issue. But knowing you can fix these cars, it's just a simple little fix with the tire rod and changing all that out. But it's still a lengthy fix, but he will definitely go a couple laps down, as we see on board with Matt Rogers here. Just, this is not a sight you want to see. And Adam Gardner just coming straight across the track. Unfortunate circumstances there as he just comes across, as we see Adam Gardner's just overcorrecting, and Matt Rogers just zero time to react. Just a simple victim in this big incident.
Now you look at it here, Gardner, he's about right there. So he only has about 4 Geicos right here to make this move. And you don't want to go towards Gardner necessarily. Typically that is actually how you avoid incidents, but he could be locking the brakes here and you're going to go straight for him. He's not expecting Gardner to come straight into the racing line. So Rogers actually just tries to continue straight, try to power by Gardner. There's just absolutely nowhere for him to go. You see it here. Damn.
Hard hit.
Big hit. And we'll go one more on board with Doug Solms too.
Yeah, Doug Solms seemed like he was pretty a little far back, but again, Adam Gardner, once he got hit, just kind of spun out in front of Doug Solms. We're going to see Doug here riding on board with the kind of the passenger seat cam. There you see Gardner kind of turning up in front. Big hit, and then he goes low to avoid it. Gardner comes off the wall, and then he's trying to figure out where to go. It looks like he locked the brakes, and it just slid right to him.
These are massive hits.
And I'm looking, guys. There's a couple takers there for pit road. Might be a little bit of a strategy to possibly, make it a little bit further to some guys. I saw a little bit of fake outs. The two looked like it got faked out by Vincent Cortez. Vincent looked like he was going to come to pit road with a couple others, and I just saw a lot of drivers take a hard right to come away from pit entry. But I see a couple takers that are used to having these fuel strategy kind of games. Even one of them I've been looking my eye on, and definitely somebody we have to keep an eye on for this whole race. Jeremiah Stutzman came and topped off with some fuel.
Stutzman always comes. Well, actually, Stutzman did not come in. He's in 6th. The top 10 did not pit here, Ed.
Oh, excuse me then.
Stutzman did
I
not
thought
pit.
I saw him coming
That's
in.
actually intriguing, though, because Stutzman's usually one to always top off. Max Service, guys, for a second there, it looked like Max Service might be on the, and he still might be, on the wrong steering ratio. So Max, he might be out of luck here trying to get into this. Now, if he is on the correct steering ratio and he just had a really bad start, well, he's gotten out that opportunity to redeem himself. But the way he was falling, and he just looked super tight. It didn't really look like he was set up correctly.
No, there was definitely something going wrong with the 81 there. I'm not sure what it was, but he was definitely not in the best mind. So maybe some adjustments there to come down, take adjustments, see if he can get that car to respond in any way as they start to get lined up here, making choose.
Choose rule, guys. You see the lanes being selected. Come through on the screen, and Cortez, intriguingly there, stays up on top with his teammate, Adrian Schumacher.
Not really surprised to me, to be honest, Devin. I think a little bit of a team strategy here, but I'm a little interested to see how Seth Berger's going to try to get a mix of this. But he does have his teammate Reese Schaefer behind him. But that 24, Jason Miz, we haven't really talked about him a lot, making his, I believe, his return to Outlaws Sim Series. I don't know if he has any starts recently. He is, but having a great run so far. Not too shabby for him. But I think we have to watch as we get closer to the stage how Andrew St. Coeur is going to race people. I think he's on that verge to where he thinks he has a really good car, and I believe he does have a really good car to contend for a win. But what can he do to possibly take the lead here?
You're right. Andrew St. Coeur, he's one of those drivers, he needs stage points. I feel like St. Coeur, we kind of see him up here a lot, Ed. If you think back to New Hampshire in the top 10 at WeatherTech Racing Laguna Seca, he can get up here. He can run up here. I'm guessing it's just absences that have him back there in the standings. So he just needs to keep doing his thing up here and not put himself in any bad positions. So it will be intriguing to see how he races the restart. Does he be aggressive here to try to take advantage of his positioning? Does he understand big picture here? And he should have a pretty good time, especially if he knows that Matt Rogers has heavy damage.
Yeah, definitely he should. And we're about to go green here off of turn 3. Everybody's lined up. Let's see what they do on this restart. It should get exciting.
Here we go, gentlemen. The iRacing.com safety vehicle will exit turn number 3 and head down the pit lane that runs adjacent to the front straightaway. And green flag is back in the air. We are racing once again from Pocono. Big accident in the tunnel turn. Scott Bailey.
Caution is out. Huge incident there. I was wondering. That is always the turn that seems to get everybody stuck up. Oh, Bailey's tire. He's got we had was it a right front on the other one, a left front on this one.
And the wheel for Scott Bailey, you see it there. Cambered in. That's Kazi likes to call it an 8-minute 20 automatic right there. That is, it's no bueno.
Yeah, I even saw James Gilliard with a little bit of damage there on the right front too, so maybe he had a little bit of contact with the 11.
And that was pretty crazy. That all came into frame for us. We're going to go ahead and take a look at it here and grab a replay. They're coming down to Long Pond here. This is the 11 of Scott Bailey, the 33 of James Gilliard right in tow. And into the corner. This is right behind Seth Fitzpatrick as well. And, Gilliard was not clear. He gets clipped by Reeves, and into the barrier goes Reeves and Bailey and Gilliard, and nearly clips there via 66 of Joshua Lane Fox.
Yeah, that was all 3 wide going into turn 2. That's not going to work out very well for a lot of drivers, and all 3 of them come together, get involved in that incident here. We'll be right on board with Jacob Reeves now. You see the 33 almost clear.
Right there.
He is clear there. He is clear. He tries to get down. It looks like
but
Reeves
he breaks
drives.
just that little bit of contact.
Yeah, Reeves drives into the turn hard and just clips him there. It looks like there was some netco before it, but definitely was going to hit him regardless. And then, yeah, just nothing the 33 could do, nothing the 11 could do. So, yeah, that was just an aggressive restart by Jacob Reeves, trying to get into the tunnel turn really fast and keep speed up, and the guys in front of him braking, trying to do something that, like I said, that I've kind of found out. We saw Vincent Cortez do it on right in front, right before that incident. He kind of backed off early into turn 2 and got a big run on Andrew St. Coeur down that short chute. But, yeah, we'll look at it again here. Just overdrove the turn with the 33 braking a little bit front. It looks like the 33's wheel is gone as well. His right front.
You know what that could be an incident from too, Devin? All these guys back here, they pitted. I wonder if that might be a little bit of a fresh tires moment where Jacob Reeves wanted to take advantage of having fresher stuffs on the whole field and try to get through the field as much fast as he could possibly. That might have a little bit of something to do with it, I feel like.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I agree. Definitely. Trying to make up everything you can on the restart before you get fanned out.
Well, gentlemen, we are here finding ourselves in a pretty precarious position, and I want to bring up a driver that we can kind of talk to here. This is Andrew St. Coeur, driver running in second, right above the cut line coming into today's race. Andrew, how are you feeling? Looks like a good run so far.
Yeah, pleased with the car so far. I lots of practice throughout the week last week. With I guess that's the benefit of having officials at Pocono. So feel pretty good right now. These guys are going to be tough though. The key is going to be the long run if we ever get to a long run.
I was gonna say, I was actually gonna ask you about the officials. That I think the timing of the NASCAR schedule and the Outlaw schedule worked out well there. What did you learn in the officials that you're able to bring into this race? I'd imagine you ran a few A opens that are pretty lengthy, closer to the Outlaws' length. What could you take from those?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, giving up the outside, you're going to get freight trained. You gotta try to stay at the outside for sure. If you're gonna go low on somebody to make passes through, 1 or 3, you got to make sure you're clear and you got a good run. And hopefully people don't run over you. I guess I think that it's going to get tricky, if we get to a long run, because. And I worked on my car a lot throughout the week because it does get tight. And I think what happens, honestly, a lot of the times, cars are pretty quick early and they are going to fall off. So unless these guys got lots of laps on their cars, I don't know how long they're going to be able to keep up the pace. But I do feel pretty good about my car and my setup. And I got a couple changes to make throughout the race if we stay green. So anyway. That's pretty well it.
Right on. A nice little outlook on the race for Andrew St. Coeur, who finds himself above the cut line coming into today's race. Running pretty well here at the start. A lot of racing to go, though. Andrew, best luck to you, driver. Hopefully we'll talk to you a little later on.
Thank you.
And again, driver of the number 12, Andrew St. Coeur. And this is one of his better runs of the season. And you know what? That is another thing. Pocono is known for long runs, right? It's not crazy to predict a long run at Pocono. But we're getting a lot of cautions early here, and I don't expect this to really continue. But it's possible that you can get broken up runs like this because this NextGen car is so competitive. And it kind of allows this kind of packed up racing. I know that was off the initial restart, and also the Gardner crash was a mistake. But it is plausible for something like a bunch of short runs to happen. So we'll have to just see what happens in this race. But here we go, back to racing at Pocono. First lap off the restart complete, and guys, you want to talk about what a wide arc into a corner. Adrian Schumacher, he left the frame coming into turn 3. That's how wide of an arc he was getting. We got a battle for second.
Yeah, we do. Vincent Cortez trying to get under the 12 car of Andrew St. Croix. Andrew St. Croix has the preferred line, but Vincent Cortez has friends, and he's able to clear him through turns 1 and 2 to second place. Now he's going to give his teammate, the 77 car, some draft and try and pull him past Andrew St. Croix into turn number 2.
If Andrew wants to defend this, he has to drive this in harder in the tall turn like he does now. He might be able to clear the 77 and hold on to his third place. 77 will fall in line behind Andrew St. Croix and will retain third place. A great job defending there from Andrew St. Croix.
Your brilliant job defending there. Again, he was having Swift Racing kind of work against him, and again, trying to hold on to what he's got. He's a driver who is in desperate need of playoff points, and St. Croix now running down the straightaway, trying to get the draft. The court says Berger trying to get there in line, and look who's starting to rise to the occasion. Max Service. Maybe the beginning of the race was just a little blip. He's trying to get back into this thing.
Yeah, I definitely think that there was something wrong with the setup, some change made that was not corrected, or just something just didn't feel right. Like you said, it was a lot hotter during practice than it was at the top of the race. So maybe just something that car was not feeling correctly. And he goes down early, gets it fixed, and he's right back up here in it. As we see, I believe that was McMurtry behind him who lost a lot of ground. Looks like he drove it in, but yeah, now we're right along with Reese Schaefer coming off of 3. Right in front of him, Seth Berger.
Yeah, Reese Schaefer, a little part-time racer, showing up for these last couple Outlaws Sim Series races. Showed up and finished second last week to Adrian Schumacher, who our current leader is. But I was watching a little bit further back there, Devin, your guy that you mentioned in pre-race might be a little bit of a favor here. Daniel Molinix, slowly but surely making his way back into the top 10. Took some tires earlier, I believe. Slowly but surely making his way through. Now looking to get 9 from Derek McMurtry. He was right along in 9th and got a little bit of trouble with Derek McMurtry. Had him run up a little wide. That's what helped Seth Fitzpatrick clear both of them. And now Jeremiah Stutzman behind them as well, who's also trying to follow in.
I like this a lot. Daniel Molnick's driver right there, on the cut line, trying to get himself into the playoffs. Have a little inspiration. Run a Superman car. Feel empowered. And certainly a great run up to the field so far. And again, stage 1 is going to conclude here in a few moments, guys. Lap 20 is the end of stage number 1. And a lot has been played out here. 3 laps to go in the stage. And Molnick's working his way forward as Seth Berger has made his way past Andrew St. Croix. They're battling it out right now.
Yeah, they are battling out, but it looks like he is going to pull the slide job kind of the same way as Vincent Cortez did. Now he's going to try and pull Reese Schaefer by Reese Schaefer side drafting down the Long Pond straightaway. I don't know if he's going to be able to get there. You need to be like door to door getting in here, as Andrew St. Croix really sends it into the turn up on the high side.
Yeah, a little interesting. Go at third lane. I never really seen that much. I don't know if that's going to help him much, but Reese Schaefer clears him, and now it looks like Miz might try to do the same thing, but behind them, Max Service almost makes contact there with the 24. Now looking underneath the 24 going into turns 3. I don't know if he'll get there. Miz has the preferred line, having that exit straight off, but now Seth Fitzpatrick looks like he's going to try to fill the hole just behind him.
Yeah, these are the first 2 drivers. Oh, sorry, Emerson, but these are the first 2 drivers on fresh tires, by the way. Just want to point that out. The first 2 are that 81 and the 2.
And you're right. Max trying to work it down there to the bottom of turn 1, trying to show that those fresh tires are worth something. Right now, he's actually under heavy attack from Seth Fitzpatrick. 2 laps to go in the stage, and Fitzpatrick's actually just shoving service down the straightaway.
And that's what you need to do here, Emerson. You need to do something like that. That's what you work together with someone. Find someone on a similar strategy. Work with them. Doesn't look like Fitzpatrick wants to work too much more as he dives into the inside, looking as they get into turn 3. And I don't know if he's going to make that stick, because that high lane is just preferred getting through there. But
he's going to side draft
try to send it.
Yeah, Max has the draft help from Jason Miz in front. That may help him a little bit going into turn 1 a little bit, but Seth Fitzpatrick looks like he has the faster car right now. You know, he did qualify up front on the pole, had a great showing in qualifying, definitely has the pace to possibly sneak out a win here at Pocono. But Adrian Schumacher and Vincent Cortez are just pulling away slowly but surely, now 4/10 away from Vincent Cortez to Seth Berger. But Seth Berger now is getting a lot of draft out from Reese Schaefer. These two are starting to run the 2 leaders down.
James Gilliard returning to the race, but here we go. The battle for the stage victory. Cortez in his second Outlaws Sim Series start, trying to chase down the road ringer Adrian Schumacher, but coming through turn number 3, Schumacher, can he hold off Cortez? Yes, he will. Stage 1 to the 82 of Adrian Schumacher.
Yeah, and a little bit of an IndyCar line as they come to the stage, went all the way down to the inside wall, just trying to break draft the people behind them, as it does look like Seth Fitzpatrick is able to clear the 81 finally. 81 pulls into the back of this train. 8 cars have broken away at the front. They're all right there. You see them in the screen. And then the next group, a little bit further back, being led by the 44 of Daniel Molnix.
Yeah, I believe Max Service did edge out Seth Fitzpatrick just by a little bit for that stage point in 7th. Yeah, he did. I believe he edged him out just barely enough, Emerson. So you have the 7th place stage points to Max Service, which is good for him. But Seth Berger got 3rd place stage points. Andrew Secor got 5th place stage points. And great, Daniel Molnix, we mentioned it. He needed the points. Did exactly what he needed to do. Got 9th. And it's also big help that Devin Smith hasn't showed up, so he will not receive any points at all tonight. So this could be big for both of these drivers.
A lot of blocking down the straightaway. It looks like Schaefer racing Seth Berger all the way down to the paint was one of them. They're now going at it side by side.
Yeah, side by side go the teammates through, was it turn 2 there? And man, or sorry, that's turn 1. But man, down the long pond straight, I think Reese Schaefer's saying, hey, I gotta go. I want to get to the lead here. Looks like he has a really fast car at the moment. Maybe Seth is hanging back a bit in a new scheme.
Here we go for the lead.
Yeah, how about Vincent Cortez, though? I mean, all 3 of us know Vincent Cortez very well. We know how big of a racer he is, and he's definitely great on these ovals. He's going to try to break the side draft from Adrian Schumacher. Not going to let him get to that corner, but he looks like he's going. Oh, we have a wreck in the back. Daniel Molnix goes around off the front end of, I believe, that is the 96. Or the 93 of Kevin Powell.
That's the 93.
And that's another wheel gone from this race. A 93 of Kevin Powell destroys the right front. Molnix looks like he'll get away relatively unscathed. But that was a scary moment for a driver who's in the playoffs. Or, I'm sorry, trying to make it into the playoffs. I guess technically would be in the playoffs at the moment. And right after Cortez takes the lead and control of this race, guys.
Yeah, and I mean, the 44, I was trying to watch him as we were talking about him. Through turn 2 on the previous lap, right before that, he was really struggling. Something went wrong with the car. I'm not sure if it just got him out of whack, but he was really struggling. You can see 3 wide there off the turn. And the 22.
Reeves again.
That's another contact from the 22 car to cause an accident.
Oh my goodness. Somebody barely came through there. That was Mike Petrin.
Near miss.
Oh my goodness.
And Jacob Reeves is just not having that night tonight, it looks like. I mean, he got involved in that incident earlier, and now this one. I mean, back-to-back incidents starting with this 22 car. Oh, man, we're going to see a good angle of it here coming off of turns 3. Let's see. He goes low. Oh, it looked like Molnick's washed up a little bit, maybe to try to get a side draft, maybe, and he just mistimed it just by a slight inch, maybe, and got contact with the 22.
That one's hard to tell, guys, but I believe, you know, there is a lot of communication there. Or, they're teammates, right? So there should be some communication in there.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, you think you got to be calling out, hey, we're 3 wide, we're 3 wide or something. It looks like the 22 thought maybe, you know, he had a little bit more room coming off the turn than what he did. He's right on board with Daniel Monix now. You can see from his view. So there goes the 97 on the outside. Can't see who else is on his outside, but yeah, it looks like the 22 just thought he had a little bit more room than he did, and didn't know that they had just been taken 3 wide by the 93, who seemed to be just an innocent bystander in all of that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. The 93 looks like he got the worst damage out of all that. And Daniel Molnix just went for a long, long ride. Spinning out and definitely going to need to get some 4 fresh tires. But it looks like the whole field's coming down the pit road here. Get four fresh Goodyears and top it off with some gas. See how far we can make it here.
Oh,
it looks like
service
did his box.
Service slid through the box. And again, guys, I just said right after Cortez took control of this race, so be intriguing to see down and away, and he will not hold control of this race. It's Berger not winning the race on pit road as Joshua Land Fox did.
I think Land Fox just got fuel only or maybe a 2-tire stop.
Actually,
there.
no, the guys, he missed his box.
Oh,
so it was technically not winning the race off pit road, but Berger now takes control of this race just after Cortez fought for that lead with Schumacher. Now he's got to do it all again with Berger. Actually, I want to go ahead and bring him on up, and I want one of y'all to interview him. I don't care who you two can pick, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'll take him here as we bring up Vincent Cortez to the booth. You got a copy.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey, Vincent. You took the lead there right before that caution. Just kind of biding your time, trying to work around from. I believe you were third there for a very good while, and then finally up to second, then finally got the lead. You just hanging back, taking care of the tires, or you just want to be out in front of this thing?
It's kind of a mix of both. I know, these guys, shoot me and the rest of everybody on the team. Pretty good at saving tires, and I was burning them up, but with the way this next-gen car is here, it's kind of hard to burn them up, so feeling good.
So I have to ask, you got a great run off of turn 2 a couple of times, setting up turn 3 and that long front straightaway. Have you figured out something on how to make passes through that turn? It seems to be a very good spot to make turns. I've used that turn myself to set up some runs. Are you finding that's the easiest way to get a pass done?
Yeah, definitely. The way I'm kind of proud of myself for doing road course so much because the way this track is set up, go slow in, fast out, that type of deal.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be. So you can keep that speed up down the straightaways. I know y'all are about to get started. You got teammates all around you. Coordinating the starts can be difficult here. We've seen that the leader can get such a great advantage with having that restart. Seth bit you up pit road. What are you looking for here to get started on this run?
Just a good push behind me. I got Reese Hot Lap Super behind me, so if I get a good push or we're side by side, I feel pretty good about my chances.
All right, I appreciate it, Vinny. Good luck the rest of the way. Maybe we're talking to you at the end here. We'll let you get back to racing.
That's F4. Appreciate it.
Vincent Cortez and his Custom Esports and Fanatec number 23 Toyota Camry. Again, great run for him so far in his second Outlaws Sim Series start, but no stranger to sim racing by any means. Getting doubled up and getting ready to go. Ed, what do you make of the first 25 laps or so far?
Not surprised, really, to be honest with you. I mean, I expected chaos, and I'm getting chaos. So, I mean, we see a lot of drama with some people that are having points battles. Just got to take what you can at this rate. I mean, Daniel Molnix got involved in that last wreck. We had Matt Rogers involved in one of the beginning wrecks, and we got Andrew St. Cor up there battling for race wins, and we got Vincent Cortez and Seth Berger on the front row. This should be an interesting start here. Looking forward to it.
It should be, and here we go. The iRacing.com vehicle into the safety of pit lane. Green flag is back in the air, racing once again from Pocono, and a terrible start from Cortez. Oh, we got one spinning. No, Andrew St. Cyr, big hit.
That was.
Oh, I don't think he hit anything.
He did. He hit the inside wall.
Oh, no.
It looks like he's okay, but he's going to have to come down pit lane, and they called a caution.
Yeah, we missed out on that, guys.
That was a huge battle.
I originally thought Seth Fitzpatrick was going to go around. He was sideways, having rear tire smoke all the way throughout turn 3. Even got a little bit of help from Max Service. Then off of 3, Andrew St. Cyr just went dead left into the pit lane. So we'll have to see that all the way from turn 3. Watch the 2 of Seth Fitzpatrick here going into turn 3.
Oh, contact from Service.
I don't think that he thought that Service was going to drive it in that hard.
I saw Service get a little sideways, and then St. Cyr just got clipped up off the corner, and oh, he wore it down very nicely. What a job from St. Cyr to minimize the damage there. And guys, that is difficult to do in a pressure-filled situation.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult to do, especially spinning through the grass there. Very hard to keep these cars like that. As we watch it again here from the static cam, you can see just a jumble of cars, and 65 getting into the back of 12, and 12 having to navigate through the grass and get it wound down so he doesn't plow the inside wall.
I'm gonna ride on board here with Kyle Lingerfeld. Kind of see it all unfold. And I know he didn't mean to get into Andrew right there. Net-coded contact too between Service and Fitzpatrick. They're both going up the track. Lingerfeld wants to get to the inside, and then St. Cyr got loose because he got way too low. He went under the groove there.
Oh yeah, he did.
And clipping that grass, man, it just. When you get just underneath that little cushion that you could see in turn 3, I don't know if we can get a good shot of that, Emerson, or not. There's a little bit of cushion underneath that yellow line just going into turn 3. You'll see it here. Right underneath this yellow line, you'll see all that cushion right there. Once you clip,
that's curbing
just
pretty
much. Right underneath that curbing right there. That's if you clip that with your left front or your left rear in some way, shape, or form. You see Emerson drawing an arrow to that. Right there. If you get just underneath that, just the slightest bit, it makes the car very, very unhappy. It will take the front end and make the back just go very loose.
But
so right there, you'll see it.
I don't
it
think he
doesn't
ever
look
clipped
like
that.
he did.
What I was saying is he got under the groove, and you don't want to. The groove, that's where all the rubber is. You get under that rubber, there's no grip underneath that rubber.
And also, we're on fresh tires too. These tires are still kind of cold, so. It might be a little bit of a factor in that.
Look at this. You can see in the windshield right there. Look at that wheel all the way to the right.
Yeah, he locks it up there trying to keep it off, and then he lets it roll. So that's the big thing. He's not locking it up all the way and just holding the brake. He's pumping the brake, getting it slowed down that way. That's the proper way to get it slowed down. You're still going to make a little contact just to the angle of the car, but he definitely minimized it and did not lose the wheel.
Oh yeah, imagine if he hit that full speed. His day would probably be done right now. That left front would not be able to be fixed. He would probably be spending another 8 minutes trying to get that fixed right now. But instead he's still out here running. Got that thing slowed down. It probably has, maybe I would take a guess, under 30 seconds of damages just from that little bit of a crinkle on that left front. But other than that, he did an amazing job saving it.
You're right. I think maybe, well, let's see here. He's in the box. 47 seconds and counting. They're in a way, yeah. So about 30 seconds of damage.
I'll take that. I got something right.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, we're going to see that a lot. When you get these stack ups like this, you got to make positions up very quickly if you want to make them up. And then once you get kind of in that line, then it's all about tire save. And you got to really protect yourself, but stay in the draft at the same time. You lose the draft to that lead pack, you can pretty much kiss the night goodbye. You're not going to get back to them unless they make a mistake. So you really have to, juggle that tire save between staying in the pack. But yeah, it's that's kind of what's causing all these incidents.
I want to go ahead and bring on up Seth Berger. I'll head him your way, Ed. With the new look today, again, new sponsor on the car, and leading here at Pocono.
Seth Berger, boys in the booth, you got a copy, my friend.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, man, you got this thing on the front row, right where it belongs, you know. That 77 looking mighty good as always. Showing some good speed here. How's the car handling so far?
It's feeling pretty good. I had to adjust it a little bit. It was a little too free on exits for me, so hopefully I didn't adjust it too far. Hopefully it's strong enough to keep this lead, but with this draft at this track, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, you guys at Swift Racing brought a great machine here. A lot of you guys are here now in the top 5, top 6, just about, with Max Service being in 6th place. I don't know what you guys brought here, but it just looks like Pocono seems to be a good fit for you guys. What makes you feel so comfortable here at Pocono with this kind of package?
I don't know. Maybe we're just better at the unique style tracks. Not everyone's used to driving a triangle, so maybe we just adapt quicker. Who knows? But Max did a great job bringing a fast set tonight.
Yeah, the new look on that 77. Tell us a little bit about it. I see you got a new sponsor on the side there.
It is my uncle's company that he runs in the Lombard and Chicagoland suburbs, Full Force Heating and Air Conditioning. He does pretty much anything you need, so definitely check him out. I've been working with him lately, and he will do a great job and give you great prices.
All right, Bo, well, you're getting ready to go green here. Good luck to you, and hopefully we'll be talking to you soon.
And driver of the number 77, Seth Berger. He's lagging a little bit there, so hopefully he's able to hold on and stay in the session. But the iRacing.com safety vehicle make that left-hand turn into the safety of pit lane, and we're racing from Pocono. And Berger all the way down to the paint. Look at him having fun there. Reshaper followed him all the way down there. And we did have somebody come down the pit lane, Mike Petrin.
41. Is changing the lanes before
Yeah, that is a no-no. So Mike Petrin serving a pass-through penalty for his restart violation. Seth Berger holding on to the lead as we're coming up to the conclusion of the 1/3 mark in this race. It's Swift Racing 1, 2, 3, 4. Miz running at the top 5. Fitzpatrick, Holt, Schumacher, the stage 1 winner. Newcomer Sam Borden in his first Outlaws Sim Series start in 9th, and Jacob Reeves involved in 2 cautions today. Still holding station there in the top 10.
Yeah, still holding station. We're still seeing this Indy 500 line here from the 77 trying to break the draft up. That's the biggest comparison I can make. We see that all the time in the Indianapolis 500 with the IndyCar series trying to break the draft. Yeah, I mean, you got to do something. This draft is so strong. So you have to do something to keep that draft going. So 77, though, making it work right now. He's keeping quite a good distance between him and the 23 at the moment.
Yeah, we have a couple of newcomers in this top 10, but one I want to keep my eye on right now, this 97 car, Sam Borden. Brand new to the Outlaws Sim Series, started 23rd, having a great showing right now, just inside the top 10 in front of Jacob Reeves in 9th place. Now looking to hopefully make his sights on the 82 of Adrian Schumacher as we see a car loose there. I believe that looked like Derek McMurtry, I believe. Yeah, I think that was Derek McMurtry that just got sideways right there off the corner.
Oh, and Holt and Schumacher, they were on each other coming into the corner. Holt misses the corner. He hits Schumacher. They both make contact, and Schumacher edges in ahead. Here comes Borden and Reeves.
Yeah, now the 3 car is going to be hung out to dry. All 3 of those cars are going to go by him with this draft package. And yeah, McMurtry lost it off of turn 3. Good save by him. Acknowledge that. Very good save to keep it off of anybody and off the wall and stay back in line. He falls right back behind this 3 car. And Greg Holt has no friends out there right now, especially with Adrian Schumacher, who fought him very hard that previous lap and was able to get the pass done. And we see these train of cars still doing the Indy 500 line down the front straightaway.
And we kind of have a Swift Racing brigade right now at the front 4. Seth Berger leading this charge with Vincent Cortez, Reese Schaefer, and Max Service, our points leader, into the top 4 for the first time today, I believe. Trying to make his way up to the front, possibly lead some laps. Looks like he's showing he has a fast car. Looks like he made some adjustments after those early on mistakes that he possibly made to his setup. Looks like he's finally adjusting to that. But I'm really interested to see how Vincent Cortez does with this. He started reeling in Adrian Schumacher that last long run we had before the stage, just around, I want to say, the 18 to 20 mark. So if we get a long run going, I feel like Vincent Cortez, maybe even a Reese Schaefer, can even reel in Seth Berger on a long run here. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I wanted to hop on board, see if they go to the line. Of course, when I pick the onboard, they're not going to go all the way down to the paint, right? But you're right, and I like what you said. If we get a long run, that's something I would not expect to be saying at this point of the Pocono race, right? If we get a long run, we're still. Cortez is sideways there, very low off the corner, and Reeves going to come around. But the long run, that's what we're expecting to make a huge impact on the stage outcomes today, and now it's been cautioned, and we're not even going to get a green flag pit stop before the conclusion of stage 2. So this is again a different race than I think a lot of us were expecting. At least I was expecting, and especially different than what we had last year in the truck race.
Yeah, very different race than last season, and this new car. Again, I think that attributes to what Ed had spoken about earlier. You feel so good in this car. It feels like it's going to stick, and then it'll just step out on you in a heartbeat. You have to be really careful and just be smooth. Pretty much the entire lap. All 3 turns are different, so you got to drive them a little bit different. But just being smooth on the throttle pedal, on the brake, just so it does not step out on you. It can be. I can't think of the word right now, but it's just where it just feels so good, and then all of a sudden it'll bite you.
Yeah, I think one driver that looks like he's feeling really good right now is this 17. He's hound dogging this 23 right now. Every time I'm looking at him right now, it looks like he's just getting off the corners just a tad bit better. As he's going to look at the inside now of Vincent Cortez. He just looks like he has a better exit than the 23. He's going to drive it down to the inside, try to make it stick, but Vincent Cortez is probably going to have the preferred line coming up the exit. Can Reese keep it there? Possibly even side draft him. It looks like they're going to be even just about. Can Reese get to that corner panel and possibly side draft him? Maybe he's going to throw a little bit of a block at him. Might open the door for Max Service to even challenge for this.
And Miz even following the snake down the front straightaway. That is classic. Here on Pit Stop TV, I guess it got dubbed the name the Ravon Snake because Rick Ravon, very, very dominant in open wheel IndyCar series on the channel, like SRCA and IORL. Rick Ravon would always be up front, leading the pack and starting that snake down the front straightaway. It just became the Ravon S, the Ravon Snake, and that's what these drivers are doing down the front straight, and I love every bit of it.
Yeah, it's fun to see that we're having to do that just to break the draft. You wouldn't think, like in the old Gen 6 car, eventually you could start to pull away if you save your tires. But it looks like that for the most part, you can hang in that draft for most of the tire run. So pulling away from the competitors around you is so difficult. And yeah, you do anything you can to maintain position.
Absolutely. The draft is so key at such a track like this at Pocono. It helps you beneficially on the long straightaways. It definitely is a factor when it comes to how you need to build your setups. You need to definitely play that into factor. We could possibly see drivers 190s to 195s at some points on how long these straightaways are, mainly the front straightaway. But back up front, we're looking at Seth Fitzpatrick slowly but surely making his way. And now Reese looks like he's going to try to get to the inside of Vincent Cortez. Barely he's going to get there. He got there, but can he get a 2-for-1 maybe? Looks like he almost got that back in of Seth Berger.
All 4 of them nose to tail. I say 5, even with Miz. Everybody lined up and chug, chew down the front straightaway. Top 7 doing the snake.
And this top 7 have broken away, even with how hard they're fighting each other. But that 17 car looks on a rail right now, getting big runs. He pulled this turn 2 move right as a Vincent Cortez. Let's see if he does it again. We're widening along with the back of the train, Adrian Schumacher. Let's see what he can do. He's trying to make up positions as well. Big run from Schumacher off of turn 2. That's the run I was talking about that you can get with that turn. And he sets it up to perfection, gets to the inside of Fitzpatrick going into 3.
It's a big difference when you're out from clean air to back in traffic, Devin. You and me both know this better than anybody. Your car feels so much more different when you're back in traffic with all the dirty air you have to deal with. But I do want to bring up, I did see the 3-car pulled down pit road. I'm not sure if it was for a scheduled or unscheduled pit stop. And I don't know if he's pulled off pit road or not. I believe he has, but the 3 has pulled in for a pit stop coming off right here, as you see on your screen off of turn 1. Don't know if it was scheduled or unscheduled. Might have been. But back up front to where everything's going down. It looks like Reese Schaefer starting to pull onto Seth Berger. It looked like there was some contact there between Max Service and Jason Miz, maybe even with Vincent Cortez.
It was Cortez and 17 of Reese Schaefer.
Oh my. Teammates.
Oh, yeah, all of them are teammates up here. But, guys, they're fighting hard here, and this is very intriguing. I mean, this is for the stage victory coming up in about 3 laps, and Schaefer is doing everything he can to get by Seth Berger. I don't even know if Schaefer is going to see the checker flag in the race, but he is pounding the rear end of the 77.
And all that behind them, Max Service and Vincent Cortez are all over each other.
Service could use the points. Try to hold on to that point lead.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch this battle here. They were all so close together getting into turn 1. I thought somebody would run over another one, but man, what in the world racing here between teammates. This is entertaining. These guys are holding nothing back. You may be teammates, in the race team, but since you're racing for the win here, for the stage win, it's all out the window. Go get what you can. Reese Schaefer trying to set up the 77 again as we ride on with the 77. You can see what that draft does. It pulls the 17 right back to him, and a big run coming from the 17 now. I can see it.
And this is where we're going to see who fought better to save their tires than to be aggressive here. It looks like Reese might be showing he might have been saving a little bit more than the whole field. See if he can take it down here into turn 1.
2 laps to go in stage number 2. And Seth Berger is trying to fend off Reese Schaefer. And Schaefer gets down to that yellow line and up off the corner following that 77 right in his tire attacks. Cortez is closing up as well. Schaefer is pushing him down the long pond.
And look how he backed off of him when they got in. Now watch the run that the 20. Oh, the 17 got loose. Oh, the 2. Oh, man, some guys getting kind of loose here in the top 7 as these top 4 have kind of broken away now as the 5, 6, and 7 are doing battle. But we are coming to 1 lap to go in the stage, and these top 4 are still almost nose to tail.
If I'm Reese Schaefer, do you fight hard to possibly get the stage win even though you're not really in contention for the playoffs or anything, or do you just follow your teammate Seth Berger and let him possibly go for the stage win to help him in the points? But it looks like, as I say that, Reese is going to peek to the inside. I don't know if he's going to get there or not. Vincent Cortez is also back into this picture. Looks like Vinny's going to pull to the inside, possibly make a move on the 17. See if he can get him down in the tunnel turn. This is not where you really preferably want to be side by side, but it looks like Vincent decides to pull out of it and go right back and fall in line.
Through the tunnel turn for the final time in stage 2. It's Swift Racing. All these guys lined up nose to tail. Cortez going for the launch for second. He's got the dive. Can he make the pass? He's got it complete. But off of turn number 4, it is Seth Berger with the stage victory over Vincent Cortez, Reese Schaefer, Max Service, Seth Fitzpatrick. I think Schumacher might have just gotten Miz, Reeves, Borden, and Mickey the top 10.
Yeah, that's a crazy last lap. Cortez wants to lead this race. He makes the move now on the race leader. Looks like that now that
three
Seth
wide.
Oh my gosh, three wide. Seth backs out of it. So Seth got the win for the stage, and he's like, yeah, I'm out of this. This is getting too crazy with these guys up here. I'm going to back out, let them duel it out side by side through turn 2.
Yeah, and that's the place I said. You do not want to be side by side, but they're making it just look pretty easy right now. Vincent Cortez and Reese Schaefer fighting for the lead here at Pocono. Vincent Cortez with the preferred line on the outside to get the run off the exit, but Reese is getting a little loose. Vincent Cortez, new leader here at Pocono.
Leader once again, Vincent Cortez, and this time he'll at least get one under green flag conditions. Schaefer, Berger, and Service, the top 4, and now there's no more stages. This is straight up racing to the end, and this is great. If you don't know, all of these guys, the top 4, they're all friends. They've been looking for opportunities to race against one another, and this is great stuff. All of them having fun. Cortez and Schaefer, they're not in it for points. They're just here to have fun. Berger and Service, they're at the top of the point standings. They're also they're locked into the playoffs. They can afford to have a little bit of fun here today. And Schaefer clips the wall. Looks like he's able to hold station there in second.
Yeah, he got the wall trying to get that run off of turn 2. That seems to be the preferred strategy. Get the run off of 2 and then just full send it into 3 and try and make a slide job type move. Something that we would not have seen before here at this track, making slide jobs in turn 3. But man, is it working out? It worked out for Cortez. He leads this. Reese Schaefer to second, and the top 7 are now back together again after some battling there a little bit. But don't look now. But also, Jacob Reeves has started to reel these guys in. We could have 8 cars up here battling for this before very long.
Yeah, I've been keeping my eye a little bit further back. Adrian St. Cyr has been making his way back up through after that little bit of a wreck earlier. He's in 11th or 12th place, excuse me. He's in 12th place behind Industrial Land Fox and John Mickey. And then just behind him is James Gilliard, who's a couple laps down after some damages. But a pretty decent recovery so far for Andrew St. Cyr. John Mickey. He needs points, too. I'm pretty certain, if I remember correctly, he is one guy that definitely needed points.
Ooh, block.
And Sam Borden, he's coming out of that Last Chance Racing camp. And Borden, a nice little run for him. He lets Mickey kind of get on through, and they'll continue on racing. But here's St. Cyr trying to make something happen for 11th, way up the track. Gilliard's going to get on through, and I think he might just let Gilliard go through. And the 93 as well. They are lapped cars that he is not racing, so he might just let them see if they can maybe ruffle something up with Fox or get something going here. But as I say that, St. Cyr back on through. He's trying to get this 11th spot.
There he is, and the 2 car makes a drastic move. He had a good run off of 2, side by side in the 3. He's going to send it clear him before they even get the 3. Good gracious, what a huge move by the 12 car as we move back up to the front.
That'll be Schaefer done. So he's actually going to dip out a lot earlier. I thought he'd at least make a few more laps. He still has about 15 minutes or so, but Schaefer is done. He is out of the race. He ran just shy of halfway, and it leaves the race to Cortez, Berger, and Al Fitzpatrick passes by Max Service to break up the Swift Brigade in the top 4.
Yeah, he hops out there, another commitment. So he runs what he can, tries to get what he can, and gave Vincent Cortez a run for his money. He also gave Seth Berger a run for his money, but Seth Fitzpatrick, the pole sitter, back to 3rd place now, and he's been on the move, slowly working his way through this pack. Likewise, Adrian Schumacher has worked his way back through this pack. Oh, Schumacher real sideways off of turn 3 there.
Yeah, Max looked like he was barely hanging on for a little bit. I was watching him. He had Seth Fitzpatrick draped all over him for a couple laps. And I just believe that Fitzpatrick and Schumacher are a little bit faster than Max Service at the moment right now. It looks like Max has a better opening car than everybody else. Fires off pretty good, but then the longer it goes, it starts to fall off just a tad bit. But I really do like what I see out of this 2 car. Did start on a pole, and it looks like he's going to start hunting down on the 77 here. Even might run down our leader here momentarily as Vincent Cortez is opening up a little bit, and I mean a little bit of a gap onto Seth Berger. But looks like we're all starting to fall in here. Ooh, Jason Miz had a little bit of a moment off of the tunnel turn there, but it looks like we're all starting to funnel in here. Jacob Breeze is starting to make his way into this pack now, has the slipstream from the 24, so we can move Jacob Breeze into this conversation, into this top 7 just about. So we got a 7-way battle as now I say it, Seth Fitzpatrick starting to make the move on the Seth Berger.
Fitzpatrick trying to see what he's got for Seth Berger. We'll see what happens down here to turn 1. This is battle continue on into the corner. Berger trying to hold station in that second lane. Fitzpatrick trying to throttle up to the inside. Fitzpatrick's been on a steady move through the field. And they're still going to be side by side down to Long Pond.
Yeah, side by side going into turn 2. Let's see if he can make it stick. He's going to send it. And Seth Berger gives him plenty of room. The 2 car down to the yellow line. 82 blinking out a bit there, but 77 holds position for now. Good battle and great defense from the 77 and the 2 car.
And Jacob Reeves just got around the 24. Jason Miz for 7. So move, or for 6, excuse me. So move Jacob Reeves into the top 6. Great little run here for the 22. We talked about him a little bit earlier. You know, he caused a little bit of a couple of incidents earlier, but it looks like he's finally starting to find hole into where his car is good. So it's good to see him running up front, but Agent Schumacher is now making a move onto Seth Fitzpatrick. He's going to drive it in there. It looked like he was going to wash up for a second, but might be able to get a 2-for-1 here possibly.
I was going to say Schumacher, he had that one dialed up down the entire front straightaway with side by side. He had a great run out at 3, and Schumacher tried to have a go. He's going to be behind Seth Fitzpatrick. I know they're going to continue to battle on, but well, here we go, still side by side. Schumacher trying to get down there. Here comes Service.
Yeah, you got to fight for all it's worth on that inside lane. Unfortunately, once this train starts, it's hard to get it stopped, but it looks like the 81 a little bit higher into turn 3 and is able to allow the 81 to get up in front of him. And then they start to draft again. Vincent Cortez pulling out a nice little lead now.
Yeah, absolutely, Devin. I mean, he's pulled out just about just under a second lead now on Seth Berger, so it looks like Vinny is starting to find a little bit of a comfort zone in that custom esports Toyota. Seth Berger, though, is going to have a little bit to say about it, I think, as we're getting closer and closer to probably some Grief Light pit stops soon.
That's right, so we're going to go ahead and step aside. We'll be right back with the effort to get Pit Stop TV side by side here. We're not going to go anywhere. The action for Pocono continues.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Welcome back, race fans, to the virtual Pocono race where we haven't gone anywhere. We still have our 5-car battle brewing for second position. Jacob Reeves making that overtake, or that attempt at an overtake there for a second. And Fitzpatrick trying to size up Seth Berger. Schumacher sitting in the middle of it all.
Yeah, Schumacher's sitting there. He's been helping out his teammate Seth Berger kind of keep position, running with him over helping the 2-car. 2-car does look really fast. Just not able to make the pass has been very hard. Also, likewise, you can see it at the bottom of the screen, the 22 on the 81 as they head down into turn 2.
Yeah, this is a matchup I was looking at. Jacob Reeves was starting to size up the 81 a little bit. It looks like Jacob Reeves is starting to show his strengths here. I think the long run is starting to prevail for a lot of these guys that prepared their cars for long runs. We're seeing it here, starting to show up here in the just a little bit past halfway mark. But I'm watching Seth Fitzpatrick, and he's just starting to reel in some really fast lap times compared to Vincent Cortez and Seth Berger. Vincent Cortez has been having a couple of moments off of turns 3. The lap before, I'm pretty sure I saw him straight the right side of his car against the wall. So I think Vincent might be have to start taking care of his tires a little bit more here. I know we're going to start getting close to green flag pit stops, but we still got a long way to go, I feel like.
Certainly a pretty long way indeed. I mean, you look at it, what are we? We're about 25 laps into our run, and then about nearly 40. So we're getting close. Pit stops should be starting sometime in the next 10 laps, and you're right, Cortez. Now let's be real. He's taking a little step aside from sim racing. He's done a lot of road racing. He hasn't had too much time on the stock car side of things. And the lap car, Mike Petrin, he's going to play a factor.
Yeah, Mike Petrin on the inside there. They're going to have to get around him on the outside. So kind of limits any runs this time. Vincent still dives down, preventing anybody from trying to, get a big draft down the front straightaway here. But yeah, they've caught back up to Vincent. He was pulling out quite a bit, but it looks like he's pulled back out, they pulled back up to him here very rapidly within the last 2 or 3 laps.
Yeah, some interesting stuff to note at right now. Daniel Molnix has taken his car into the garage.
And McMurtry.
So Daniel Molnix will not be getting finishing points. So this will be interesting here. Yeah, this will be very interesting here. So this definitely benefits, I believe, Andrew St. Cour big time. Right now he's running in the 10th place. Right now just behind Sam Borden, who's in 9th place, having a great showing for his first race in the Outlaws Sim Series. Not bad having a top 10. Vincent Cortez! Loose.
Did he get loose or did he get contacted? But nonetheless, he loses the lead, and Berger to the lead. I wondered did he get loose and get hit? Did he just get loose? Did he hit the wall? We're gonna go ahead. That is a lot of stuff that could have happened out of turn 3. We'll quickly go back and see what happened to Cortez.
Yeah, he's still fighting the car out of 1 now. As we take a look out of the replay here, it looks like he may have lost the handling on that race car, I think.
Yeah, right there. He looks like he's jerking the steering wheel just sideways. A bit on entry. Hey, he's washing up the hill now.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's just all sideways.
That might be that might be the rear tire is screeching a little bit. So.
Good save, though. Good save.
Yeah, very great save, but. Started to lose some track position. He's fallen in line behind Adrian Schumacher now. So Seth Berger out leading. Seth Fitzpatrick 2nd. Adrian Schumacher 3rd. Vincent Cortez 4th. And Jacob Reeves rounds out your top 5 and 5th.
Guys, this is the type of racing I don't think I've ever seen at Pocono where there's no breakaway for one single car. The lead pack has been the topic of conversation today. Swift Racing held, the top 4 spots. Now Fitzpatrick and Reeves, they've kind of added on into the mix. Schaefer had to dip, and Service has lost a little bit of touch this lead pack, but there's still 5 cars nose to tail this late into a tire run at Pocono. This is just not normally what you hear.
No, it's not, and the fact that you've been able to do this while battling and still pulling away is an amazing fact. I mean, even on a draft-heavy track, when you're side by side, you tend to be a little bit slower than you would be in a straight line. So the fact that they've been able to battle this hard and pull away is just a testament of how this track has changed with this next generation car and how you can run it here. It's just amazing to see. Vincent Cortez trying to make his way back into the back, tries to send it on the 2 as we're watching along with, yep, there it is in turn 1. Tries to send it on the 2, not able to make the pass, but man, he's trying to get back to the front as well as that 22 car. Now he's caught up to the top 4, and he's decided to set up Adrian Schumacher there for a pass.
Yeah, 2 of the more consistent drivers we've seen today, Seth Fitzpatrick, Adrian Schumacher. Adrian Schumacher and Seth Fitzpatrick were our front row. Definitely having some great running so far, but I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing out of this 22, Emerson. The 22 has definitely come to play. I feel like he might be a contender once it's all said and done here at the end of it, but I definitely think, I mean, going back to what you were saying, though, Emerson, we haven't had that kind of one driver pull away. We had Vincent Cortez when he was out front. Wait about a second. Yeah, he pulled out to about a second, but then he lost control of his tires. But I don't think Seth Berger, once he gets into that rhythm, will have that same issue. I think Vincent is more the aggressor type of driver than Seth Berger is. I think Seth, he knows what to do once he's out front. He knows how to take care of his stuff a little bit more than Vincent Cortez does. But, I mean, I don't think we'll see another one of those types like where we see him pull away by like, 2-3 seconds. But I think we're starting to see a little bit of what we're going to see towards the end here.
Let's start talking about playoff seeding, right? So we know there's 6 winners in, right? That's Max Service, Jonathan Jennings, Jeremiah Stutzman. They all have 3 wins. Then Seth Berger, Seth Fitzpatrick, and Adrian Schumacher, they all have 2 wins. Well, Seth Berger, Seth Fitzpatrick, and Adrian Schumacher, they're all 1, 2, and 4. They're all trying to get their 3rd win so they can be on equal footing with the top 3 into the playoffs. So these guys, they're trying to fight for their own playoff seeding, Berger and Fitzpatrick and Schumacher. I know that's something that might be looming in their minds, is trying to be on equal footing with the rest of the competition into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's something to look at, too, just to see, what they can do, how they can seed themselves when we get in. I mean,
couple pit stops right away.
Yeah, a couple of pit stops. I was looking at that on the track map there. 24 and the 69 have dove into the pits. To get early service here, 37 laps to go. You can definitely make it to the end here. So the pit window is open. It's just how long do you want to wait? When the first guys start to pit, you can't wait too long. You can lose a lot of ground, but likewise, you can make it up on the track. So would you rather be Ed, the guy that you see Vinny turning in, and Seth Fitzpatrick? Would you rather be the guy who comes in first and be the guy to try and defend the lead, or would you be the guy who wants to come in a little bit later and try and track down that leader?
I feel like if you can get the track position and you know your car can handle good in clean air, I think that's the plan for Seth Fitzpatrick. I think you have to take the risk of pitting early. Seth Fitzpatrick has a great car. We all know that. He started on pole, led a bunch of laps, and I just feel like once he gets in clean air, I think he'll be able to pull away just easily. But it's the question is, like, do you prefer fresh tires here or do you prefer the clean air? I have to lean more towards the fresher tires in my opinion. I just think you'll be able to drive a lot more harder than the guy in front of you. The guy in front of you is going to try to push as hard as he can in the beginning of the laps as he's coming off pit road now to try and gain as much time as he can on the next couple guys. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Seth Berger, AJ Schumacher, and all them pit now. Yeah, exactly, right here. Because seeing all them pit, they want to stay as close as possible to them. They don't want to keep going and let them pull away on the gap. So I'm not surprised here to see all 3 of these guys pitting right now.
And what this will do is, if Andrew St. Coeur has the fuel, he will be able to come and grab a lap lead, or he might come down the pit lane. I think he's able to stay out, so Andrew St. Coeur trying to get lap lead. And Berger misses the box! That's huge!
Oh, pit road mistakes. This is the time of the race, the last pit stop. They call it the money stop. You can't have any mistakes. And, there's not really, pit crew mistakes like we see in real life.
Oh, and he's slow to get away as well. Schumacher's going to leap him. Maybe. Nope, Berger was looking out in front.
Still mixed out, but definitely a lot closer between those two coming out here.
And Fitzpatrick, he's already gone on through.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick, Vincent Cortez, all overleaped these guys.
Yeah, 22 as well as overleaped them. But yeah, that's the difference. One lap, you get those fresh tires, put in a great out lap, and you just see what it could do for you.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news for Andrew St. Coeur. He's not even going to get a lap led because he was not the leader at the start-finish line last time around, unless somebody can correct me on that. And Joshua Fox right behind him also stays out. So St. Coeur staying out for that lap lead point, not able to get that lap lead point.
He was not. He's going to pull it in the box there. He's going to be very disappointed in that he wasn't able to get a lap lead. Does look like the 2-car is going to cycle around to be the leader once the 66 and the 65 finally come down pit road. Yeah, they've everybody else has kind of already came in and got their service done. As we're seeing a lot of battles here throughout the pack as these guys are getting back up to speed and getting around some other drivers who have had some issues tonight. We watched the 77 of Seth Berger there along with the 24 of Jason Miz get around Greg Holt. And now we see the 65 diving in. 66 stays out for another lap.
And I was going to mention, Devin, that 3-car pitted very, very early to try to leapfrog some strategy and possibly play a little bit of strategy, but I don't think it's playing in his favor. That's why we saw him in the mix up there. So it's going to start to be a little bit interesting to see those guys get around him. But as I'm saying, this Seth Fitzpatrick has pulled out to a 1.2-second lead over Vincent Cortez. Once this all cycles out fully and that 66 does pit, he has a 1.2-second lead over the 23. And that 23 is being caught right now by the 22. Jacob Breeze is starting to reel in the 23.
I think Lingerfeld might have had a penalty, but no, he just is slow to pull away. Here's Joshua Lane Fox. I believe this is the lap. Yep, this will be it. He's coming in.
So this will complete the pit cycle. We can go to the end from here, barring, any yellow flags that may come out. As we see Land Fox there coming down the Ford Mustang. Going to take it down at 65 miles an hour, I do believe, or it actually might be a little less than that. 55, and he slides it into the box, and he missed it. So he's going to have to back up.
We've seen a lot of pit road issues today with the sliding in the box. You got to remember, once you have a lot of heat on these tires, it is very hard to get them wound down. So they are very slick. And plus how sketchy this pit road is. It's not the greatest pit road in the world, but these hot tires, they do not help under braking when you try to stop at full force, get into your pit box. But watching this battle, like I said, this 22, he just has something that I haven't seen any other driver have today. He has both a short and a long run car, unless he's just pushing this hard to try to get around the 23. But the 22 has come to play, and Seth Berger is just slowly and surely creeping up on these guys, with Jason Miz overleaped the 82 and the 81, so he got in front of both of those two to move Jason Miz into that 5th spot. But Jacob Reeves is all over the back of this 23 right now, Emerson.
You're right, and this is kind of like 3 different groups of setups, 3 different groups of drivers, right? You look at Last Chance Racing, they all work on their setups together. Swift Racing, they all, piece something together. Usually Max Service kind of heads that charge. Last week it was Schumacher and all that. And then with Fast Lane Racing, right? With Miz and Holt, they have it here. Let's see if I can. Frontline Racing. My apologies. Yeah, Frontline Racing with Miz and Holt, and that's also what Cosby's working with, and a lot of fast guys there. So we got 3 different groups, different setups, kind of all trying to get a piece of the pie here at Pocono, and they've all performed pretty well today.
Yeah, they have. And what I'm looking at is this group of 4 right here. Max Service is caught back up to these 3 in front of him. I'm looking at them drafting up to the 2 cars in front of them, and then maybe using a 6-car draft to try and catch the leader. Any amount of cars is better than one, and Seth Fitzpatrick kind of pulling away a little bit, but one little mix-up, one little mistake, or if these cars just get hooked up really well, they can catch him before the race is over. 30 laps to go right now. We're going to hit 29 laps to go at the line, so still plenty of time left. To catch back up to Seth Fitzpatrick and put on the lead, or put on a battle for the lead, as it does look like Fitzpatrick's still pulling away just barely, but for the most part, these guys, really trying to catch him.
Yeah, it's been steadily at 1.2 seconds for the last couple of laps, and just about the 2 and the 23 and the 22 have been running just about identical lap time, so it's not like anybody's overleaping anybody by a huge margin or anything. So these guys are all consistently around the same ballpark as speed-wise, but I'm just watching this other group in the back. Seth Berger's been running the fastest laps of the race right now, as I'm reading on the scores chart. So I'm gonna see how this long run starts to prevail. I'm gonna wait and see how the 77 tries to make his way back up into this group, but right now I think Seth Fitzpatrick's just running a consistent type of race right now to where he doesn't want to burn anything, he doesn't want to overuse it. Just steadily making his own march. This is like we mentioned earlier too, Devin. Overleap the field when you know you have a fast car and take the clean air for yourself. We knew he had a fast car. It's just what could he do when he had the clean air, and we're seeing it now, what he can do with it. He just pulled another 10th or so on Vincent Cortez and Jacob Reeves. So we definitely could say that this strategy is definitely playing a great factor for Seth Fitzpatrick.
So Seth Fitzpatrick, the race leader, for 1.2 second at his handling. So Cortez and Reeves, they're not really battling, they're just nose to tail. Berger heading Miz, Schumacher, and Service. Drop back a little bit. John Mickey sitting here in the 8th position. He's got about a half second up on his new teammate, a newcomer to the series, Sam Borden. Greg Holt, you saw him pit. He still has to pit one more time in this race. He is on very old tires, 32 lap old tires, and Holt is just trying to bring it back around, and he'll be pitting one of these times. Might be even this time. Yep, here he comes.
Yeah, some Rick Holt pits.
Last stop
He
of the
pit really
race.
early. Yeah, last stop of the race for him. 27 to go. He'll have the freshest tires, but I don't think he'll have a shot of trying to catch up to these leaders. He is actually going to be going a lap down, I'm pretty sure, with his stop here. But yeah, these guys up at the front, as we see the 3 pull into his pit stop, still trying to line up. And Ed mentioned it that those 4 behind, Schumacher, Miz, and Service behind Seth Berger, they're all kind of just running station, holding station right now, running around, just trying to line up and catch the people in front of them, as we are now seeing the 23 and the 22 start to catch the 2 car. So that was what I was going to ask earlier, Ed. Do you think that maybe the 2 car is running a little too hard at the moment, maybe burning up that right front a little bit more, whereas the 23 and the 22 maybe held back a little bit, just kind of maintained contact as they're almost under a second, but just maintain, decent contact to him so they know they can get back to him and, run him down at the end.
I'm not really too sure, Devin. I'm like looking at the times, and it's just like it hasn't been that big of a fall off, really, and it doesn't look like he's overusing it really that much. Like, I've been listening to him running around this track, and it's just, I don't see anything to where he's like extremely pushing or anything. It just looks like he's just steadily running his own pace. But like I mentioned earlier, it's like this is what he needed to do if he wanted to have contention to win this race. Overleap the field and pit earlier and have a great pit stop and get the clean air. This is what he needed to do. And we're seeing it now, what it did for him, pulling away by about a second and some change on Vincent Cortez and Jacob Reeves. Now, is this going to help him towards the end? I have no idea. We'll have to see, but I just feel like he showed he had a decent longer car. Even before we came to pit stop, he was starting to pass some cars slowly but surely. But can he hold off all the field behind him and keep this pace up? We'll have to see, as we're just about 25 laps to go.
This has been quite the battle between Miz and Service. I've been watching on the time and scoring sheet. Miz holds station, but Service desperately wants to get around to 24.
Yeah, Service trying to make up positions now. Just he's getting down to the end of the race. Not sure if he can catch the leaders or not, but just want to pick up as many positions as he can so he can maintain that points lead. The person closest to him, his teammate, the 77, only about 3 spots in front of him, so he won't lose too much, but he doesn't want to have that happen too many weeks, as it could get really tight. And also, Seth Berger has won a stage tonight, so you don't want to lose any more points on the end of this race.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is helping them or hurting them, to be honest, Devin. I mean, I understand you want to fight for every position you can right now, right? But wouldn't just lining up together and possibly trying to run down the front 3 in front of you just be more beneficial?
Yeah, I think it would. You just stay in the line, push the guy in front of you like you would at Talladega, try to tandem draft down these long straightaways, to try and catch the guys in front of you. See them, they're side by side, and they're losing ground big time to Seth Berger and Adrian Schumacher, who are lined up in front of them.
Yeah, I mean, just look at that gap between the two of them. Just doing all this, just look at how much they lost ground to Adrian Schumacher and Seth Berger. I mean, it's just about maybe half of a straightaway, just almost.
As they continuously battle, you're right, they've lost time to Schumacher and Berger. Berger and Schumacher, they have been trying to chase down Jacob Reeves, and Reeves is trying to lose a little touch to Cortez. And Cortez has been slightly trying to outlap Fitzpatrick. And for the most part, he had been. Till now, the times are starting to table off a little bit between the two.
Yeah, I didn't want to say nothing. Our leader just kissed the wall off a tunnel turn in turns 2.
There it is. Let's see if he's able to hold station.
Yeah, Vincent Cortez trying to drive it in there. He's lost a little touch to Jacob Reeves behind him. But, everybody's starting to close up here. So maybe an accordion effect kind of in play. Something that you see and they talk about a lot in an F1 race where different strategies finally come into play at the very end of the race, and you have an accordion effect where the guys who are kind of out front kind of lose place as we see the 22 making a move on the 23. Oh, the contact!
Oh, very tight off the tunnel turn. That could have been very bad.
Yeah, that was close.
Yeah, I think Reeves understood that he kind of made a mistake and backed off and let him take it.
Hit him again. Yeah, contact again on the rear end there of the 23 car. 22 full sending it, and Cortez not happy that he hits him. They wrecked him. They wrecked.
Oh no. And we have a yellow flag.
And that is not what the 2 car wanted to see.
That just did not look right. I don't know what the 22 was doing. It didn't even look like he turned into the corner.
The 22 overdrove the turn trying to full send to get around, and he just missed the turn. I just heard it on the radio. He apologized to the 23. He just overdrove the turn and completely missed the braking zone and couldn't get the car slowed down.
Huge run here for Reeves into the tunnel turn, and just a little bit of contact. I think that's fine. They continued on. Cortez holds station now in front.
Yeah, the 22 gets a big run here. We're going to see it. He had a little bit of a better line through 3 and 4. Got a big run down the straightaway. You can see here he bumps the 23 kind of up the track right there. Gets under him, and you're going to watch when they get into turn 1. The 22 is going to try and overdrive the turn to do a slide job, and he just didn't turn.
He never turned.
Yeah, that's not a good look. I hate to say it. That's not. I'm not saying that's intentional, but that just does not look good from a driver's perspective.
It really didn't. It didn't look good live.
Yeah, the car just went straight, just trying to take a ton of speed into the turn. And that's not going to work. That turns a lot sharper than you think it is. You think turn 2 would be one of the sharpest turns here, but that turn 1 can really catch you off guard because you're coming in there with so much speed.
There you go. I mean,
He wasn't even braking at that point. He just started braking when he made contact.
there's that one's hard to explain, guys.
That's not good.
I don't know if you can hear it. No, he was in the throttle still.
Yeah, that's just not good. You know, we're not. It's not good to talk bad about things, but that's just not good at all. That's. I want to say that's dirty, but it's not. I know he did not mean that intentionally, but that's just. I don't know how you missed the corner that bad. Like Vinny didn't even have a chance.
So what I'm seeing here is we know that you have to make the move early into turn one and do similar to what you would do like an F1 race, outbrake the guy that you're trying to pass. Otherwise, off the turn, the outside lane's going to have the advantage. So it looks like the 22 is trying to outbrake and just drive it in as hard as he could to get around the 23 car. And yeah, at that point, there's just no way you're going to make that turn. That was way too late to not be braking. I've done a similar incident to that here at this track in the Xfinity car, trying to outdrive a car or outdrive someone I'm trying to pass into turn one, and you just go straight. The car will not turn. You think the banking will help you a little bit. It doesn't. You're coming in there with so much speed. It's going to go straight. So that's exactly what happened. I've done a similar incident trying to outbrake somebody, and it does not work. Best thing to do there is back off early, like we heard Vinny talk about in his interview earlier. Back off early and get the run off the turn.
We're going to go ahead and step aside. We're going to take another side-by-side here. We'll be right back with the action here at Pocono right at the end of this break. Welcome back, race fans, to Pocono. We're here as the iRacing.com safety vehicle hits pit lane. We're racing once again from Pocono. Seth Berger has the lead over Adrian Schumacher down the front straightaway. Jason Miz up to third. Fitzpatrick fourth. Service fifth. Borden, St. Cour, Mickey Fox, and Lingerfeld the top 10. The battle amongst the two Swift Racing teammates top of the scoring pylon.
Yeah, we know that 82 car is fast. What can he do on the short run now? Can he take it to the 77 and get the win here? As we see service to the inside of the 2 right behind these guys. The 2 car made contact with the wall and almost does it again.
Yeah, Max and Seth have been having their moments back and forth. The 2 hit the wall on the opening restart in the tunnel turn. Once again, I think he thought that Max was giving him a little bit, not enough room, but Max was giving him a lot of room. But Seth Fitzpatrick thought otherwise. He got into the wall, but now I see Andrew St. Cyr making a run on the inside of Max Service, trying to battle for that spot with the 97 or Borden just behind him.
Here they go. Side by side into turn 1. St. Cyr trying to pass Max. And Max trying to keep it pinned around the outside. And he will clear back by the 12. That is great stuff.
Yeah, Max Service defending the position well. He wants to get back to that 2 car. He knows he needs to make up positions. His teammate, but also regular season title contender Seth Berger up leading the race. So the 81 needs to make up as much as he can right here. Only 15 to go, 14 to go when they get back to the line.
And how about Jason Miz pulling away a little bit from Seth Fitzpatrick? The front 2 have also pulled away by a decent bit as well. Seth Berger leading them to the line with just under 15 to go. But I'm still watching Max Service to start running down this 2 car again. He definitely has the better short run car than this 2. But every time he gets near him, it looks like they just have a little bit of contact that messes with him. Andrew St. Cyr goes way wide, all the way up into the 3rd lane.
All right. Well. Everybody lines up nose to tail down the long pond once again. And, yep, your Max holds station there in 5th. And Schumacher still trying to get at it. See if he can get to the inside of Seth. He can't get down there. And trying to see here. Looks like we might be coming back here. But for those that might have missed what had happened, the caution came out there. Contact between Cortez and Reeves as they battled for 2nd into turn 1. Both made contact and into the wall. Both of them damaged their suspensions and out of the race. There's a restart, and this is what it is with 13 laps to go.
Yeah, and on the restart, Seth Berger did beat Seth Fitzpatrick out of pit road. Seth Fitzpatrick chose the inside lane to stay up on the front row, and he lost a couple of positions. The inside lane just not having great restarts tonight. So he lost a couple of positions to Adrian Schumacher and Jason Miz. Schumacher now just hiding behind the 77 car, looking for the time to make his pounce. 13 to go right now, going to be coming to 12 to go at the line. Anytime between now and then, you're going to start seeing these moves be made, as we've already seen a couple of the 81 trying to get around the 2, but the 2 trying to get around the 24.
Yeah, and how about a great recovery just behind them? The 12 have that little incident early on, back up into the top 6 just about, fighting for top 5 possibly, as we're starting to fan out here, get a little bit of side by side just going through the draft here. 81 starting to run down, the 2 going down in the turn 1, the 24 starting to fall back just a tad bit, not a lot, but I think the 2 starting to show a little bit that he had some long run speed coming on here. We're just about a couple laps into this pre-flag run, but we're up front. Agent Schumacher still trying to pounce on Seth Berger, Emerson.
Top 6 again, all lined up and nose to tail and trying to make something happen. Fitzpatrick trying to see if he can get around Miz. Nothing happening yet, but he is peaking.
Yeah, he's getting good runs off of 3, too. You can see he's going to close right up to Jason Miz. Off of 3, is going to try to get the draft. Nobody pulls out now. They're all just running the train, but not able to make a whole lot of inroads there on this lap. Maybe over push the entry a little bit as we see Miz go really high into turn 1.
Yeah, I don't know what I saw, but it looked like Miz was about to try something. He was closing that gap up to Adrian's back end a lot more this lap than he was the last couple. So I think Miz is starting to get a little bit impatient here, starting to try to make his moves up to the front.
Patrick downshifting there in the tunnel turn, and it's actually going to cost them there. He's not able to keep it under control with all the high revs to the rear. And Miz is able to hold station. He had to gap there in the tunnel turn. And he's trying to see if he can get around Schumacher. Both holding station. 10 laps to go from Pocono.
We're starting a snake there. You see it down the front straightaway. Seth Berger implying the snake strategy again as Miz dives to the inside of the 82. Not going to be there. 82 also in a good defensive position on the outside. Berger takes to the inside. They're all nose to tail again. These top six there with the 12 car coming into play, making his way all the way back up after being penalized earlier and being involved in an incident. He's made his way back to the front as Schumacher blinks out there. He's having connection issues. We see him kind of blinking out. Now he's back in frame, but 6 cars look to be going to be duking this out for the win. They're all right there under a blanket. Ed.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see this 2 car start making moves. It looks like he's trying to search around the track to try to get around this 24. Might be trying to something here as he gets all over the back bumper here of the 24. Maybe try something different into turns 1. Let's see, Emerson. He might be trying something here going into turn 1.
Not close enough. Everybody stays and holds station. You want to quickly drop back and check in on Mickey and Borden. They're 7th and 8th. And looks like Fox has kind of held his own there in 9th. And it's Holt who took 10th away from Kyle Lingerfeld just a bit ago. Back up front, the top 6 lined up. And who's going to make the move?
Yeah, it's definitely who's going to make the move. It's so hard to pass here on the inside. But, you're not going to give away the outside lane very easily. The only thing you're going to see is the snake down the front straightaway as they do it again. Seth Berger implying that move. Not going as drastic as we saw earlier, but he might start to as he sees the 82 closing right on him.
82 closing right on him, but here comes Miz right to the inside, looking in there. I don't think he's going to get close enough, though. Adrian has the preferred line on the outside. Miz might be able to stay in tow, but watch this, too. He might have something to say for it going down to the tunnel turn, but it looks like he's going to back off just enough to where he's going to set something up, but watch behind him as well. Here comes Seth. Now looking down, not going to get a run enough, but Max Service washes it up the track a little bit, loses a little bit of momentum there. Going down to turn 3, though, Miz looks like he's starting to lose a little bit of ground on Adrian Schumacher.
Did I mention that this is Miz's home track, and it would probably be very important to him if he were able to get it done today?
Oh, now you want to bring that up?
Well, Jason Miz, he is definitely fighting, for this win. And Schumacher, he's just going to push Berger down the straightaway. He's not even going to try to make a move there.
Maybe he thinks it's too early as they get into one just holding station. 7 to go. So maybe he thinks it's a little too early. Maybe try and do something a little bit closer to the end of the race. Miz kind of maybe sitting there in the 3rd position. He's been trying to make moves. Backs off a little early into turn 2. Let's see if he can get the run off going into turn 3.
Yeah, down to turns 2. They make it through all together, one by one. Single file, snaking it through to turn 3. It looked like Miz washed it up a little bit off the track there, just a little bit more than Adrian Schumacher, but it looks like everyone's still head and toe. Seth Fitzpatrick looks like, and Adrian St. Core behind him, slams the wall. Decent contact back there. I don't think it's going to hurt him that much, but man, that was some rough contact right there. He loses a little bit more ground to the 81.
Everybody biding their time, trying to make something happen. 6 laps to go. It's Seth Berger trying to get his 3rd win on the season. Adrian Schumacher trying to get his 3rd win on the season. Jason Miz trying to get his 1st win since the season opener of last season. And trying to get a home track win. Seth Fitzpatrick trying to get his 3rd win on the season. And Max Service trying to hold on to that point lead.
Yeah, everything to play for up here at the front. All 5 of these drivers, Andrew St. Clair having smacked the wall, starting to lag back a bit. I think that damage has taken him almost out of contention. But yeah, all of these drivers really have something to play for. Was it Andrew St. Clair just barely holding on to that draft down the front straightaway? I think a couple more turns he might lose it. Seems like the handle in that car is gone, but through turn 1, holding position, the top 5, just trying to size each other up right now at 5 to go.
How about all the storylines we can possibly have at the end of this race? We can have one driver having 3 wins on the season, another driver possibly taking the points lead, another driver possibly getting his first win since the season opener a year ago, and a points leader possibly can get another win added to his historic season so far. So many storylines going into this Pocono race possibly, Emerson, as we're hitting just under 4 to go once we get to the start-finish line. Adrian Schumacher looking for any way possible to get around this 77 to Seth Berger.
4 laps to go. That is 10 miles. Still a lot of racing to settle it. And everybody's lined up nose to tail. No real big moves out of anyone, except here comes Service to the inside of Fitzpatrick.
Oh, big move by the 81 car. He's going to clear him. I think the 2 car let him go there just a little bit, not wanting to lose touch too much with these guys with 4 laps to go. So they lose a little bit of ground making that pass, but they're going to be able to gain it up down these long straightaways. As you see the closing distance there into turn 2.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Fitzpatrick might have used up his stuff doing all the shifting that Emerson mentioned earlier. He was continuing to shift. I heard him doing it into the tunnel turn, so that may have hurt his rear tires just about to where he cannot be in contention for this win. But I'm looking at these front 4 right now. I could definitely say either one of these guys deserve the win more than anybody else right now. These guys have all played their strategies perfect as we come to 3 to go at the line. Adrian Schumacher trying to follow the snake draft of Seth Berger going down to turns 1. I like what I see from Adrian. He's been trying to peek his nose just a little bit more downward than Seth to try to get the clean air on the nose. You see it there. He gets a little bit more than a quarter of an inch just about on that front headlight to get the clean air to the front of the nose. Let's see if he can keep doing it through the tunnel turn, Emerson.
Nose to tail down the back long pond straightaway, and Schumacher's just shoving. He is trying to get out and away, maybe make this move on the second to last lap or the last lap. And let's think back to last year Pocono, where Seth Berger had this race in firm grasp, and a late race caution came out. He had to duke it out with Joshua Gaffright and Max Service on late race restarts, and Max Service ended up getting his first win in 40-plus starts in the Outlaws Sim Series, and that was a huge momentum boost for the 81. But now Berger trying to redeem himself, and here comes Jason Miz.
Huge run from the 24. He breaks early, trying to get the run, but as Schumacher sends it on the outside, that's only going to give him more of an advantage. What this is going to do, though, is that 77 car can pull away just a little bit and gets us some breathing room with 2 laps to go. That's exactly what the 77 wants to see.
Absolutely. Seth Berger wants to see that 82 being fight in that 24, but the 24 wasn't able to stay side by side for that long. So Adrian didn't really lose much of a gathering. Down the back straightaway, going down into turns 3, coming down to the white flag when they get to the line next time. Can Seth Berger hold on to this win and get 3 wins on the season, even possibly jump him into the point standings lead? White flag at the line.
1 lap to go. Presented by Whiplash Media Sim Cams. The white flag is in the air, and it's Seth Berger trying to get his 3rd win on the season. The same for Adrian Schumacher. Schumacher has never been able to get it done on an oval outside of the super speedway at Daytona, and he pounds the wall down out of turn 1.
That's a big hit from Adrian Schumacher. That takes him out of a win possibly, but the 24 going to send it to the inside in turn 2. Is he going to clear him? Schumacher fights back on the outside. This looks to be the battle. The 77 pulls away.
24 got tight. He ain't going to be able to clear the 82. 77 pulling away as further as he has been the whole race. Down into turns 3, Emerson, here he comes.
And off of turn 4, redemption from last season, and tied for the top seed in the playoffs, 3rd win on the season. Seth Berger gets it done at Pocono.
And Adrian Schumacher banging down the wall in the last lap. Holds off Jason Miz, and he gets 3rd there. Max Service brings it on 4th, and then it looks like Seth Fitzpatrick 5th. Andrew St. Coeur 6th. Sam Borden, newcomer, brings it home in 8th there. John Mickey got 7th. Excuse me. Joshua Landfox 9th, and then Greg Holt hangs on for a top 10 in his return.
I think Max just might have dumped our leader on the back straightaway. he hit Seth and just put him into the wall just now. But well, congratulatory taps to our winner. Unreal. What a great job from Seth Berger. Burger Nation's going to have a great night tonight, I can definitely suppose. Their boy gets the 3rd win on the season and just showing he's definitely one of the championship favorites as we're getting closer and closer to the playoffs.
Seth Berger again. Deserved this, I think, certainly. The stage 2 winner was up in the front all day. Swift Racing again. Like WeatherTech Racing Laguna Seca, just a lot of very, very dominant forces today. And Schumacher able to get 2nd. Here comes Service, who with the 4th. Just a great. Oh, Jeremiah Stutzman! Oh no! Berger's gonna destroy the car. Stutzman was sitting there, and that's destroyed the right front. The wheel on the 77 is destroyed. He doesn't care. Let her rip.
He's trying to do donuts with a wheel that's just barely hanging on. Oh! The back into the wall.
Oh, he can't.
It doesn't want to do
control of
donuts.
it.
Oh, we're good. We got to go. We're fine.
Oh man.
Yeah, just back it up into victory lane there.
Oh, is this what we're trying now? Oh, that's
this
cool.
works.
All right.
That's pretty cool. I'll give him that.
Yeah, tricky triangle.
The tricky triangle. There you go.
I wonder who's going to try and do that next time they win at Pocono. A tricky triangle burnout. Oh, there he goes. He gets 1 donut in. There you go.
He got a donut.
Yeah, that's a perfect circle. I give it a 9.
Oh, he's gonna go try to do a Polish victory lap. Oh, no.
That don't feel.
Oh, no.
All right. Well, that might be the radiator right there.
I don't know if he's gonna be able to get a Polish victory lap.
Just somebody go out there, run out there, and give him a new toe link. He'll be fine.
Gonna take 8 minutes.
Yeah, he's fine. He's got time in the world. He's getting the burnouts in though.
Oh man, oh man. Well, we did have some issues there in the back half of the broadcast. So again, Seth Fitzpatrick was leading out of pit stops. A caution came out as Cortez and Reeves duked it out for 2nd. They went up into turn 1 wall, and Seth Berger won the race off pit road under that caution. The restart happened, and Berger was able to hold him off to the end. And let's go ahead and talk to him about it. Driver of the number 77, Seth Berger. Seth, first time in these new colors, and it is 1 for 1 in this full force heating and air conditioning number 77 Chevrolet Camaro. That's it's a little bit more beat up than what it was at the start finish line, but nonetheless a nice job for your 3rd win on the season to tie you for the top seed into the playoffs at this moment. Seth, tell us about it.
Oh, hell yeah. First off, I just want to say thanks to Full Force Heating and Air Conditioning in the Chicagoland suburb area. Also thanks to my Uncle Jim. He's been helping me out a lot, getting me some work in. Like I said, he does a great job. Any job he does. He can do anything. He does houses, he does factories, he does whatever. He does it all. So make sure you definitely go check out Full Force Heating and Air Conditioning. But yeah, that was awesome. I clipped the wall in the middle of that race there, and luckily it didn't do too much, but the car kind of fell away in the middle, but luckily it got back to the lead, and I slid through the pit box on the last, what I thought was going to be the last stop, and so didn't think I had a shot at the win there, but luckily, or unfortunately, Vinny was caught up in it, but that helped me out get this win for sure. I didn't know we weren't going to pass tech inspection. I guess Max wanted to make sure that I was going to pass tech inspection after this race.
Well, there's not a whole lot left they can inspect, so I guess you're clear there. Oh wow! Now, Seth, I know it was a slow roll for you, especially with the the new NextGen car. A lot to figure out, but you got the Talladega win, and then of course you got the win at IRP, and now at Pocono. Also at Pocono last season, I know you had that one in the bag until Late Race Yellows had said you didn't. So a little bit of redemption there. You feel like that's now past you?
Oh yeah, it definitely feels awesome after last season to lose it like that. So it's definitely a great redemption, and it's more just showing the pace that I know we could have. I mean, there's honestly, I'd say at least 2 races I had a really good shot at winning, and Texas is one of those, and absolutely choked that one away. But luckily, we still have great pace every week. Max is bringing great setups and great adjustments, and amazing teamwork. Amazing teamwork. In the middle portion, we were having some fun there, racing
Oh, we
each
saw.
other, going down to the inside wall. But when it gets serious, we got great teamwork. Adrian was helping me out a lot at the end there. I know it would have been hurting both of us a little bit if he went for the lead, but overall, he still could have went for it. So huge thanks to Adrian too.
Right, and I guess with that, yeah, bringing on Cortez with the Swift Racing Camp last week. I know he had an early out last week, along with you. So you were able to get a good run in with him. What's that like? The addition to the team, and mixing it in with Adrian and Max, everybody up there, having a good time, and Reese also. He had his early exit as well. What's that like? It seems like a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, it's a huge help in this series, just because of how long these races can get. It's definitely important to have some fun there, and adding Vincent definitely adds a lot of fun to it. I'm glad Reese joins in for as much as he can in the last few weeks. He adds some fun to it, and like I said, teamwork is just awesome. So yeah, more teammates, the better the teamwork's gonna be.
Right on. Well, Seth, you now tie for the most wins on the season with 3. You're chasing down your teammate Max Service for the point lead. It looks like it should be ever closer as you look your way into Phoenix next week. Congratulations on your 3rd win on the season, and best luck to you at the Jewel in the Desert.
All right, thank you. Shout out Burger Nation. Shout out to my parents. Thank you for the support, and thank you to you guys for putting on a good show.
Right on. And that was driver of the number 77, Seth Berger, with the race victory. And gentlemen, we have some post-race results to go through. Let's start down the order. Seth Berger with the victory. He holds off his teammate Adrian Schumacher, and he held off a hard-charging hometown boy, Jason Miz. Max Service comes across the line at 4th, and it's Seth Fitzpatrick with the 5th place finish, Devin.
Yeah, 6th place is going to be Andrew St. Coeur. A great run for him. It kind of got derailed by an early race wreck, but he recovers to 6th. John Mickey brings it home in 7th. We talked about him a little bit, showed him on screen. Great run from the 69 car tonight. Sam Borden, a newcomer to the series, brings it home in the top 10 and 8th. Joshua Landfox making his return to the Outlaws Sim Series brings it home in 9th. And likewise making his return, Greg Holt brings his number 3 car home in 10th. Ed.
And 11th, another returner. 65, Kyle Lingerfeld, and 11th. Great running for him. 12th place, Jeremiah Stutzman, the fuel man, the man with all the strategies. Didn't have the strategy today, but still a great outcome for him no matter what, finishing in 12th. And then the first car a lap down in 13th, the 41, Mike Peachern, a great result for him. 14th, 96, and Matt Rogers got involved in an early incident that started his day a little slim for him, but a decent recovery overall for him. And then 15th and 93 at Kevin Powell.
16th, it'll be the 11th of Scott Bailey. The 33, James Gilliard, comes home 17th, 9 laps down. Good to see them both return to the track. Jacob Reeves and Vincent Cortez. Hard racing turns ugly. 18th and 19th for both of them, 20 laps down. Daniel Molnix rounds out the 20th position.
Yeah, and 21st, Derek McMurtry. This Heartbreakers row here. Derek McMurtry in the 84 car brings it home, 47 laps down, 21st. Reese Schaefer called it quits about halfway. He just had other obligations, so he takes off. Had some fun up at the front. He brings it home 22nd, 52 laps down. Adam Gardner, Doug Soames, both involved in a very early race incident. Adam Gardner tried to get back on the track, just the car was not what it needed to be, so he pulled it in, 62 laps down, 23rd. Doug Soames, 86 laps down in 24th. And then Jonathan Jennings, he registered for the session, but did not get the start tonight, so he's going to be 25th, 100 laps down.
And that is post-race results here from Pocono. Don't you go anywhere, though. More post-race coverage from the Tricky Triangle on the far side of this break. We'll be right back with more post-race coverage from Long Pond, Pennsylvania's Pocono Raceway. Don't you go anywhere.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Ben going for fourth.
Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Pocono Raceway, and we're here in the post-race coverage here of the 22nd round of the Outlaws Sim Series season. Once again, want to shout out Devin Zimmerman and Ed Scher alongside for Vikal this evening. It was a fun run, boys, and we get to talk to a few more people tonight. Let's go ahead and bring on up second place finisher, driver of the 82, Adrian Schumacher. Devin, he's heading your way.
Yes, sir. Adrian Schumacher, you're bringing it home in second place tonight. You tried a few things to get around the 77, but overall wasn't to be. Was it just that it was just so hard to pass, or did that 77 just, put the car where you needed it?
It was more of I took the number 2 driver role in that. So making sure it was a certified 1-2 or tried.
I got you here. So some team strategy playing out there at the end. But man, y'all were fast and consistent for most of the race before that caution came out. Though you guys were a little bit further back from Seth Fitzpatrick. Did y'all kind of think that it was kind of out of the cards to pick up the good finish that you had tonight at that point?
I think I could have went for the win, but it would have been like really sketchy. I don't think the cards were there to play. Miz is too talented to be left unchecked. He can go right past you.
Yeah, we saw him try to pass you there a couple of times. Some great running, though, from all of you guys up front all night. I mean, it looks exciting with this new car at Pocono. Kind of walk us through how it is in the car. Is it just as exciting as what we're seeing on track on the broadcast?
Yeah, it was really fun out there. The car tended to be loose, so drive off was really hard. I made sure it was really loose so I could turn the middle of the corner, but it was really fun.
I gotcha. I mean, we saw a couple of times some guys get loose off of turn 3, some guys get loose in turn 1. But we also saw some moves being made in turn 2. Is that something that you guys started figuring out towards the end, where you could slack off a little bit getting into turn 2 and get a big run down into turn 3? Was that the kind of the preferred move if you did want to make a pass?
We would add I would set it up in turn 1. Try to get beside them in turn 2, because if you hit that apron, you just hug that corner and the outside guy can't do anything about it. I could have went for that, but that was my main overtaking strategy.
Okay, so a little bit of a different strategy. That's good to hear. With the drafting dependency that kind of Pocono had, you kind of had to stay in that draft. Once you lost it from someone, it was really hard to try and get back to them. But you guys stay together all night long. Was that kind of a strategy going in with the Swift Racing guys to stay together and kind of just work that draft the whole night?
Yeah, the first 1/4 of the race when I had the lead, I was trying to break it. I was doing those IndyCar lines, annoying a lot of people. But once I fell back, I fell into the stay in a group plan.
I got you, and I know you're not, you're not too disappointed with a second place finish here, especially after getting the win last week, setting yourself up very nicely for the first round of the playoffs. A few more races to go. Anything that you're kind of looking forward to before we get to the playoffs? I know what you're looking forward to as soon as we get to the playoffs, but anything you're looking forward to before we get into the playoffs here at the end of the regular season?
Let's see real quick.
Phoenix, Charlotte, Bristol, Nashville Speedway.
Yeah, I think Charlotte should be a good one for me, and Kansas. This is a pretty good set of tracks to end the regular season. I think I'm going to be strong.
That's good to hear. We look forward to seeing you run up front like we did tonight. Best of luck the rest of the way. We'll let you get back down to your team now after a 1-2 finish, and congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Right on, and that is second place finisher Adrian Schumacher. Ed, this is going to be a pretty good one. I know he is very ecstatic. The hometown boy with probably one of his best runs in the Outlaws Sim Series, Zed. There's no telling. He is super excited about this. He said it your way.
Yeah, the hometown boy, Jason Miz, what a great showing in third place. Definitely know it's not the result you were looking for, Miz, but overall you got to be happy with a third place in your hometown.
Dude, I'll take it. After the way practice was going, sitting 17th, I wasn't very confident.
Well, you guys, I know you definitely, Miz, are a great setup person. You guys definitely bring great setups to the tracks week in and week out, and you definitely show a lot of speed at multiple tracks. I've seen you race around a lot, and I know the last time you haven't won was since last season's opener, but hopefully we've seen you around a little bit more. But is there anything else you could have done possibly to try to get up there for the win? I know you kept looking at some different moves up in that third lane, even the second lane to try to get around Schumacher, but is there anything else you could have done maybe to throw at him to get up there?
Nah, I don't think so. Those two were dialed in real well. I really struggled through the tunnel turn, so that pretty much screws you on trying to set up a good pass in the one. If I could have got the tunnel turned down better throughout the whole race, I think I might have had something for them. But got to give them guys props. They did what they had to do, and they were fast.
Now, Miz, I'm going to ask you a personal question. What is it that you love so much about Pocono that brings such good racing out of, not just yourself, but multiple drivers? What made you fall in love with Pocono the most, without it not being your hometown track?
Well, I actually hate Pocono.
Oh, okay.
It was the setup. It was not the driver. I promise you that the setup that the team came up with for the opens was on point this week. So that's what Frontline gets the whole credit for that. that setup. I can't take any credit for it except for, doing my little practice with the team like I have to.
Now, I'm hoping we see you a little bit more later on in the year, or is this just your one-off? But next week we go to Phoenix, and we're hoping to see you there. How do you feel about your confidence going into that race next week if you do show up?
I like Phoenix. I don't actually know what I normally been spotting for NIS on Wednesdays, but that's dying down, so you'll probably see me more. But Phoenix has been one of those tracks I'm either really, really good at that race or I'm really, really bad at. So we'll have to see what we have next week.
Well, Miz, congratulations on your third place run, my man, and definitely gave the Abruzzi boys a good showing tonight in that 24 machine. But we'll be seeing you next week in the desert.
Just appreciate you. Thank you.
That was driver of the number 24, Jason Miz. And we'll bring up one more driver just to get our 4 interview quota in. Max Service. Max, you were kind of struggling there at the beginning of the race. And then you got those fresh tires. I know that helped out a lot with the drivers on old tires. But it looked like after that you kind of came to life. Talk about what you had to go through today.
Yeah, I kind of started this thing off. I set it up for clean air. I knew I was really, really quick by myself. I felt like maybe I can go get a pole. Wasn't quite close enough. Screwed up turn 3 a little bit in my qualifying lap. Didn't have clean air that first run. And car was really just kind of tight in dirty air. And I just couldn't get the exits, really. Just making little mistakes. And then everybody kind of freight trained me. And by that point, you're back in traffic. You can't really pass. It's just a draft fest down the straightaway. So came in, got tires, started to get a little bit aggressive, made a little adjustment on the stop just to try to get a little bit more drive off the corners. That worked pretty well on the short run, but when everybody got there together on equal tires, kind of just started to get tight in dirty air again. Like I said, it was set up for clean air. I felt real good in clean air, but and I felt good behind like 1 or 2 cars, but I was always like the 4th car in our line or 5th car, so it really didn't quite work out.
I was going to say, a lot of that race, you were sitting kind of behind a group of your teammates, and almost looked like that for the most part coming to the end as well. What was that like, the team dynamic in there? I know Reese left early and Vincent wrecked out, but good run for the team overall. What was that like down there in the Discord? What you make of it?
Just a lot of teamwork, we all have pretty good chemistry together, so it works out pretty well. But I also have to mention this. We are in Pennsylvania, and we know who's from Pennsylvania. That's Taylor Swift. So we got it done in Pennsylvania again, just like last season. And a little bit better result, a 1-2-4, which isn't bad. Kind of hoping we could get a 1-2-3, but Miz was really quick, and I'm happy for him to get a podium.
Honestly, I thought you were going to say Miz is from Pennsylvania, which, yes, he is. Or Balliet, who didn't race tonight.
Less notable people.
Less notable people. Well,
Less important.
I guess to the world, yes. But we'll go on from that.
It is Swift racing. Just remember that,
Yeah, Swift isn't quick, right? That's the only meaning, right?
Yes, sure. We're not exactly quick most times, but we do our
the
best.
past couple weeks. And I will say, Max,
we can win some rocket ships.
I know you did not have the day you wanted, so I'm guessing a 4th is actually pretty nice after what you have to go through today. But your points lead is definitely going to slim. You haven't lost it yet, but it's going to slim. And into Phoenix next week. I know you won at Legacy Phoenix in Season 1. What are you thinking? Heading out to the Jewel in the desert next week.
Well, it is news to me that we are going to Phoenix. I didn't know that.
There's been a schedule posted there since February, so
I don't look at it until Monday before the race when I run about 5 laps with a setup just to get some comfort things.
Well, okay.
But we'll figure it out. I don't know what I want to do with the setup, but I have something in mind because I don't think there's a Phoenix setup from this season. But we'll figure it out. And there's a pretty good setup I think we can use that might have a couple wins this season for the team.
Okay. Well, we will have to, I guess, just wait and see then. But Max, congratulations on your 4th place finish tonight. Best luck to you heading into Phoenix.
Yeah, thank you. It feels pretty good, I guess, to be disappointed with the 4th place finish.
Well, there it is. Driver of the number 81 Max Service, and that's those are our interviews tonight, boys. And again, there was a lot of different agendas, a lot of great racing. Swift Racing, of course, brought the speed today, and definitely showed out with their teamwork today, and then also just had a great run. For a second, it looked like it was all Fitzpatrick, but the incident with one of the Swift Racing drivers, Cortez and Reeves, that kind of changed this whole race upside down. Let Berger get in control of this thing, and well, that was it. But boys, this was a fun Pocono race. I know people don't really say that about Pocono, but this was fun.
It was fun. I mean, it's been a lot of good races at Pocono with this new next-gen car. Definitely provides for some great racing. So it's exciting to see this type of racing at Pocono. Hopefully it can continue as, now that we get this type, it is actually a really fun track to drive. It is a driver's track, and, it's really fun when you can get it right.
Not only that, Devin, it was just very high speeds and just pure chaos, I would say the least. I mean, just the kind of passes and chaos, and I know I say chaos a lot, but just contact between all these cars, and just, I mean, it was just amazing racing overall. I thought we were expecting some strategies maybe to be played out, but it was just great racing. I mean, that's just what you love to see. Just I'm not the biggest fan when it comes down to strategies, but the racing is more of what everyone wants to see, in my opinion.
Absolutely. It was great stuff. We did get our green flag pit stop, so it's not like we went into this race without, complete, a green flag run or anything. We had those long green flag runs, but it was all fun on that green flag run. And then at that, the incidents, you kind of got a little bit of everything. Not as chaotic as last year's race where we had a flip down this long pond straightaway, but still a great race. And yeah, I was thoroughly entertained with the show tonight. But gentlemen, well, that does it for tonight. We're not done here on the channel. We got so much more on the plate. And how about it, guys? Tomorrow night, the North American Racing Porsche Cup cars are tackling the brand spanking new, to us, brand spanking new Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course layout. It is going to be going down tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and I cannot wait to see how those Porsche Cup cars tackle that fantastic and flowy road course.
Yeah, it's such a great thing for my racing to finally get the new version, or new to us version on the sim of the Indianapolis road course. It's a very fun road course, very fast road course to drive. So glad to see that the GT3s are going to be heading there for the North American Racing League, but also the MPI Cup Series is going to be heading there on Sunday. Yeah, they're heading to the Oval, my fault. But yeah, they're heading to the Oval. But still, Indianapolis, a lot of history there. Brickyard, it's still going to be a very fun race there for the MPI Cup Series on Sunday night.
Let me double check that. It was announced at the beginning of the season that they're doing the Oval, but I'm going to see if there's been any changes to what MPI is doing. Can't currently find it. That's all right. But what we do have next week, guys, is Phoenix coming up, short track racing on our radar next Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Ed, what do you think about what's coming up there?
I mean, we're going on the West Coast swing, my man. I mean, it's not really like back to back, but I mean, we're going from the east to the west. Going to the desert. It's gonna be hot. I need to bring some shorts, but it's probably gonna be like 100-something degrees over there because we're getting into the mid-summers. But I'm excited for it. Comes some great racing. We got that huge dog leg that everyone could cut on the start. Gonna see some more 5, maybe 6 wide action going down into turns 1 and 2, where everybody can either cut the apron or go on the track, or that high line's been used a lot too, so that's gonna be interesting to see the least. But I'm excited. But I think you and me, Emerson, have a plane to catch. We have to go to Indy tomorrow. I know you're doing the booth with Andrew, and I gotta do social, so we gotta catch that plane tomorrow. I don't know what time that plane leaves, but we have to get over there.
We might be a little late. We have to go ahead and catch that next flight.
Yeah, we might have to get the next one. I'll book it. Hold on.
But nonetheless, right? We'll be heading out to Indy, and then we'll be in Indy while we have MPI then Sunday, and then we'll be flying all the way back across the country to Phoenix. But that's gonna do it for us here at Pocono, guys. Again, we're happy to have all of you out there watching and tuning in across all of our social media platforms. Of course, Facebook, facebook.com/pitstoptv. Our Twitter at pitstoptv_, our Instagram at pit_stop_tv. That's also the same as our Twitch at twitch.tv/pit_stop_tv. And of course, our YouTube channel, gentlemen, youtube.com/pitstoptv1. And again, if you're watching off the Outlaws YouTube page, go ahead and check out the Pit Stop TV socials. Of course, we are the broadcast provider for the Outlaws Sim Series, and again, help us get more exposure out there, and go ahead and just check out what else we got here on the channel. But that's gonna do it once again for us. Again, a huge shout out to all of us here on Pit Stop TV. Devin Zimmerman and Ed Shearer on the mic. I am Emerson Arden, and again, thank you all for tuning in. And we'll see you tomorrow night for North American Racing League Porsche Cup action from the brand new Indy Road Course. Or next Wednesday night from the Jewel in the Desert.